mention. So is Kevin Warsh. He's been urging the Federal Reserve since he returned to office to lower interest rates. And now there's the prospect that the Fed might actually have to raise interest rates to keep inflation in check. So I think the president is reaching for a broad vision here.
Right.
But the idea of an immediate benefit to the American people is hard to see. It's also possible, by the way, that this could go off the rails a bunch of different ways before it becomes reality.
We still haven't seen the text of this deal or anything like that. At this point, this is just President Trump. All right, Stephen Portnoy in Washington. Thank you.
You bet, Brad.
That's ABC's Brad Milkey. Time for a check on traffic. Now we do that every 10 minutes here on Seattle's Morning News. Chris Sullivan is watching things.
And we are still dealing with this situation in the Federal Way area on South 348th Street, or what becomes Highway 18, right there at I-5. That off-ramp to southbound 5 is blocked, and there is a ton of emergency vehicles in the area, and we are backed up in the eastbound direction all the way to 99, and so that's going to not be very good trying to get you over to I-5. Again, this is right west of I-5 in that little corridor there by the shops and whatnot there. So plan on some delays getting over to the freeway. Once you get there, you've got about a 35-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle. Not quite 40, Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue is quiet at 15. Nothing across the lake coming down from the north end, 35 minutes. And we continue to work with the closure of US 2 and Gold Bar, both directions, alternating traffic there because of this long-term crash we've been dealing with all night long. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, mix of clouds and sun for your Monday. 74 the high today. We'll stay mostly cloudy tomorrow, 72. And then Wednesday looks interesting. Rainy, windy, and only 66. It looks like we'll round out the week with highs only in the mid and upper 60s. Right now in Seattle, it's partly cloudy and 59 degrees. All the day's top stories coming up next here on Seattle's Morning News.
Jake and Spike. Whoever in her office shoved her into this video and said, you know what you should do, Katie Wilson? Why don't you, bust a move?
Gear yourself to a certain portion of the electric.
If the goal is to repel everyone, then I would say that she's doing a fairly good job.
You're going for the uncoordinated vote. You nailed it.
My goodness.
Jake and Spike, noon to 3 on the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Summer is for sunshine.
It's a beautiful day out for baseball here at T-Mobile Park.
Summer is for moonshots.
He just absolutely obliterates this multi-homer game, Cole Young.
Summer is for Mariners baseball.
Epperson is racing over, slides on. He makes the catch. Incredible.
So listen for the cheers and follow your ears to T-Mobile Park. Because where else can you travel to on a ferry boat and then eat crab nachos out of a ferry boat?
How sweet it is.
It is the sweetest, Rick. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
The Mariners' schedule is packed with divisional matchups down the stretch. Be here this week as the team takes on the A's, Thursday through Sunday, including Brian Woo's Mariners bobblehead debut Saturday, thanks to Lexus. Then the Rangers are in town for a 3-game showdown, September 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Anthony Hamilton with Tony, live in the Tulalip Amphitheater, Thursday, September 10th. Tickets are on sale now. Details at TulalipCasino.com.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Hartley here from Wilcox Farms. For over 100 years, my family's been committed to doing what's right. At Wilcox Family Farms, that means caring for our hens with healthy pasture environments and a diet of organic grains and flax seeds. It's how we produce eggs that are wholesome, flavorful, and good for you. Next time you're at an egg case in your local store, we hope you feel good about choosing Wilcox eggs. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Step into Seahawks game day at the Pro Shop, where the roar of the 12s begins. And official Seahawks gear is always within reach.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
This is the Pro Shop. Visit the official store of the Seattle Seahawks, located at Lumen Field and the Landing in Renton.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 5:31. Seattle families are bracing for the possibility of a teacher's strike just 2 days before classes are set to begin. Seattle Public Schools and the Seattle Education Association have until 11:59 tomorrow night to reach a contract agreement. Parents are already making backup plans. Matt Becker tells KIRO 7.
I'm just going to plan on staying home this week, no matter what, for sort of separate reasons. And if it goes on beyond that, well, I don't really have a contingency plan at this time, I'm sorry to say.
The union says a strike would begin Wednesday if no deal is reached. Multiple fires are burning near Snoqualmie Pass, as we hear from KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas.
The Three Queens, King, and Goat fires, which have grown to more than 11,000 acres combined. The Three Queens, that's the largest, more than 8,500 acres, only 5% contained. The other two at 0% containment.
Airbnb is stepping up to help Washington wildfire survivors. Airbnb.org has expanded its free emergency housing program for people forced from their homes by the wildfires. Residents in Spokane, Stevens, Chelan, Okanagan, Yakima, and Ferry counties, along with several tribal communities, may qualify for temporary stays. Displaced residents can call 211 to be connected with housing assistance. A woman blamed for the death of her own child is due to be arraigned in Seattle today. Prosecutors have charged her with reckless endangerment after police say she fell asleep and accidentally let the 1-year-old child consume fentanyl. The child died August 23rd in South Seattle. The 39-year-old mother is also charged with domestic violence and first-degree unlawful possession of a firearm, and other charges could still be filed. Questions remain after bounty hunters fired non-lethal rounds while trying to stop a suspect near Seattle's Sandell Park. Witnesses tell KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman the arrest unfolded just steps from a playground.
It even has some crime experts we showed the video to scratching their heads.
When I see
a rifle firing paintball pellets as a van motorhome is trying to drive away. I thought that was a bit odd.
Seattle police say those bounty hunters with Washington fugitive investigators detained a man named Titus Reams, who had 7 felony warrants under his name. Reams was booked in the Pierce County Jail for organized theft and drug possession charges that date back to 2021.
And bail's been set at $15,000. It's 5:33. Time for a check on traffic. Once again, we do that every 10 minutes, and Chris Sullivan is watching the roads.
And the roads are in really good shape, man, as you would imagine, on this early Monday morning. Getting there may be a little bit more difficult for those of you in the South King County area in Federal Way who normally use eastbound 18 to get over to I-5. It's going to be very difficult, and the ramp from eastbound 18 to southbound 5 is closed at this point for this crash that has a large amount of emergency vehicles dealing with it. A couple of cars are off into the ditch on the right-hand side of the road, so that's going to be with us for a while. If you need to get onto southbound 5, you've got choices. You can go down 99, get on in Pfeiffer, Tacoma, or you can go up to 320th and work your way around, but that ramp remains closed. Once you get over to the freeway, Federal Way to Seattle is only 35 minutes. About 40, Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue is not bad yet. Looking at 15 minutes there. 35 from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Olympia to Tacoma is only 35, and we continue to work with the closure of Highway 2 in the Gold Bar area for a really significant crash they've been working with for hours overnight. Alternating lanes of traffic, and it sounds like big rigs can't really get through that corridor. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, we're going to be partly cloudy for your Monday. 74 the high today. 72 tomorrow will stay mostly cloudy, and then Wednesday rainy and windy. A high of only 66 will stay in the upper 60s through Friday. Right now in Seattle, partly cloudy and 58 degrees.
Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime.
Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
Well, if you're a Gonzaga fan, you know what that song is. Gonzaga dad went looking for a children's book about his alma mater, and when he couldn't find one, he decided to help create it. KIRO News Radio's Tim Hole is here with the story.
Yes, indeed. Gather round, boys and girls, for the story of Spike's Zagtastic Day.
One bright and sunny Spokane day, Spike the Bulldog went out to play. Ah, what a Zagtastic day.
Spike's adventure across campus started with Gonzaga alum Jabez Lebret and a book his young son brought home.
My son was about 4 years old, and he had gotten a Notre Dame children's book. And I said, well, I'll be damned if that's the only university children's book he's going to get, because I went to Gonzaga. So I went online to find a Gonzaga children's book, and I couldn't find one. And I thought, well, that can't be right. And so I reached out to the university, and sure enough, we hadn't had a children's book published in years.
So on to the next chapter. Lebret called his best friend, Dan Gemeinhardt,
who also went to Gonzaga and is a New York Times bestselling middle grade and children's author.
Spike jigged and wagged through the Gonzaga campus, saying hi to all his friends. When he settled down for a rest, though, he made a terrible discovery. His favorite book was gone. He'd lost it somewhere on his walk.
I've known Dan since third grade. We actually were roommates at Gonzaga University. We have been best friends our entire lives. And so I knew immediately if we were going to do a project like this with the university, I couldn't imagine not doing it without him.
So together they created Spike's Zagtastic Day, following Gonzaga's mascot around campus as he searches for his missing book.
A voice called down from a second-story window. Hey there, Spike. What you looking for? I've got to search and find and look. Have you seen my favorite book?
Lebret says the best part is watching families recognize their own Gonzaga memories in the story.
We were at an event on campus, and this young girl, she's probably 5 years old, was reading the book with her grandma. And she goes, Grandma, this is where Mommy and Daddy got married, because their parents had gotten married on campus. And I just, my heart just warmed up in just seeing the experience unfold in real time as this grandmother, who's also a Gonzaga alum, was having this shared moment with her granddaughter. I mean, that's really just what it's all about.
As for Lebret's son, he's 8 years old now.
Oh, he just thinks it's the best thing ever. He was awful young when we started the project. We had some hiccups in trying to figure out how to get this thing actually published. But once we were able to overcome that, several years later, we finally did get the book into print, and he just thinks it's just the coolest thing.
So much I got to do and see at Gonzaga University. If you want your tail to wag,
Do your best and be a Zag.
And that, boys and girls, is the story of Spike's Zagtastic Day.
Oh, my gosh. I'm on Gonzaga's website right now, and they did a big write-up on it, too. And there's a picture of them that when they must have been in 5th grade or something like that. They're just little kids.
Right.
And then a picture of them with the book now.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And the other part I didn't mention, but I should, is the 10% of the book's profits go to the Gonzaga Alumni Scholarship Fund. LeBret's really big on giving back to his alma mater. So
okay, could the story get any cooler?
Right. And if you're interested, if you're a Zag alum out there or know one who's maybe on your Christmas shopping list, the Spike Zagtastic Day is available online at the Gonzaga University Bookstore or at local bookstores. We'll also put up a link on My Northwest along with the pictures, images from the book and the authors, including LeBret and his now 8-year-old son. Again, yeah, just, one of my favorite stories this week.
That's
so
awesome.
Thanks for letting me tell it.
Thank you for sharing. It's 5:39.
From ABC News Tech Trends. Sony Music, Warner Chappell, and several other music labels are suing Anthropic, accusing the artificial intelligence firm of blatant theft of copyrighted works, and accusing the company of using those works to train its AI model, Claude. In a statement, Anthropic says, "We disagree with the publisher's claims, and we intend to defend ourselves robustly in court." Following an executive order from President Trump renaming Lake Ontario to Lake America, Google Maps has now changed the name of that body of water. In a blog post, the company says the change is in line with their long-standing policy around name changes in official government sources. Canadians will still see Lake Ontario displayed. And an appeals court has ruled prediction markets like Kalshi and Polymarket are subject to state gambling laws in Nevada. However, a court also recently ruled the state of New Jersey doesn't have the authority to regulate prediction markets. Legal experts expect the debate to eventually land at the Supreme Court. With Tech Trends, I'm Mike Dabowski, ABC News.
It's 5:40, and coming up, some Republicans distancing themselves from President Trump amidst the trade war with Canada. We'll chat with ABC political analyst Steve Roberts next on Seattle's Morning News.
I used to think all money managers were the same until I spoke with Fisher Investments.
Really? How different are they?
Fisher's investment counselors are dedicated to service, not sales, keeping clients up to date on their portfolio.
Well, they probably just invest in a bunch of mutual funds like I do.
Nope. They build a tailored portfolio based on their clients' personal goals, helping them stay on track for a comfortable retirement.
Well, they must make commissions selling products.
Actually, Fisher doesn't sell any commission-based products. They're a fiduciary, and they believe that's a conflict.
Then they have some kind of complex fee structure.
Nope. Fisher has a simple, transparent fee that's a percentage of their client's portfolio. So they do better when their clients do better.
It sounds like Fisher really is different.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Fisher Investments. Clearly different wealth management. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com/different. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
If your home is 20 years old or more, it might be time to have your roof inspected. Your roof is your home's first line of defense, and at Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we'll help it last as long as possible. Our trained and licensed crew will evaluate your roof, repairing when we can and offering replacement options only when necessary. Plus, every new install comes protected with a full year of free maintenance on us. Visit GuardianRoofing.com today.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
It's 5:43. That's time for a check on traffic. Every 10 minutes on the threes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
All right, the road's open, big rig drivers. US 2 has reopened in Gold Bar, both directions. So it is now a viable option. Don't need to go down to I-90. After that long-term really bad crash overnight in Gold Bar, all lanes of US 2 have reopened in the last 10 minutes, so that's positive. Now to the one other issue just off the freeway. We continue to work with this crash right there on I-5 and Highway 18. The ramp has just now reopened, by the way, from eastbound 18 to southbound 5. So they're in the process of cleaning this thing up. We still have a kind of a backup around it, but there's no reason to divert anymore away from this. So that one should be taking care of itself as well. We have about a Federal Way to Seattle drive of about 35 minutes, about 40 from Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue's not bad, 15 minutes there. Lake bridges are quiet and under 40 from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, we're going to be partly cloudy for your Monday, 74 the high for today, and then we're gradually going to cool off this week. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, 72. Wednesday, rainy and windy, only 66, 65 on Thursday, and Friday will be partly cloudy, should be drying out, and a high of 69. Right now in Seattle, it's partly cloudy and 58 degrees.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
It's 5:44. The Grand Canyon National Park searching for survivors after flash flooding caused by major storms Saturday afternoon. News Nation's Marcus Espinoza has more.
The National Park Service is asking for information on approximately 15 people who are missing or unaccounted for. There are several people who may have been hiking or camping alone. Sunday night, they recovered the body of a 46-year-old man along the Colorado River. Flash flooding forced more than 60 people to be evacuated from the Grand Canyon. The flooding was in the Bright Angel Canyon and the Phantom Ranch area on Saturday afternoon, washing out footbridges, dumping boulders and structures into the Colorado River.
In 2025, the Grand Canyon was the fourth most visited national park with nearly 4.5 million visitors.
Trade tensions continue throughout the country as the ripple effects of President Trump's tariff battle with Canada intensifies, and that is causing a stir within the Republican Party as candidates around the country prepare for the midterms in November.
Let's bring in ABC News political analyst Steve Roberts once again. Steve, good morning.
Good morning, Manda. You know, you point out a very important fact in politics right now. Trump's trade war with Canada is very unpopular in states along the northern border. Some of the most important Senate races, Maine, New Hampshire, Michigan, all take place in states that trade heavily with Canada. And Republicans are increasingly upset. Senator Susan Collins of Maine, a Republican, probably the most endangered Republican incumbent, denounced it, saying this is terrible for Maine families and Maine businesses. And, you know, Trump's trade war is mirrored by another controversy, which is importing 300,000 metric tons of beef to try to reduce prices. Trump has said repeatedly affordability is a hoax, but every family in Seattle knows that's not true. It's real, and Trump has admitted that by trying to bring in this beef to reduce the price of hamburger. But throughout the Middle West and cattle country, Republicans are deeply alarmed, and Trump's favorability among rural voters, he got 64% of the rural vote in the last election. It's down to 44% in the latest Fox News poll. So Trump's trade policies, whether it's with Canada or with the beef imports, are causing problems with some loyal Republican voters.
For a lot of voters, the grocery prices are the top issue. It sure was in the last presidential campaign. What moves these voters come November, and is President Trump able to do that?
Well, look, there's no doubt that about a third of Americans remain deeply committed to Donald Trump. But the fact is that a number of people, he got 49% of the vote in the last election. So about 15% of Americans who voted for him are disillusioned. Latest AP poll, only 30% call the economy good. 69% call the economy bad. And the economy is always the most important factor in the election. It's one of the main reasons Donald Trump won, because Joe Biden failed to keep his promises to reduce prices and improve the economy. And that sour mood in the electorate, which helped elect Trump, is now being turned against him because he's the president. He's responsible. And these trade moves, in some ways, are only making it worse for him in terms of popularity, even with that swing group of voters, not the core heart of MAGA Nation, but that group of 15 to 20% of voters who voted for Trump but are not pure Trumpian MAGA red hats. And that's where the fall off is coming, and it's coming almost entirely because of disillusion with his economic policies.
Steve, are Republicans going to hang on to the Senate?
I think the answer is still probably yes, Manda, because the Democrats basically have to draw to an inside straight. Absolutely everything has to go right for them. But when you look at it, some of the key states, Iowa is a very good example. It's an open seat held by a retiring Republican. And the Republican there is getting battered on the issue of importing this beef. And she called it a very bad idea. So Republicans, I still believe that Republicans have the advantage. But in a state like Iowa, Trump is making it harder for the Republican candidate.
I know we just have a few seconds left, Steve. How unusual will this November midterm be?
Well, in 20 of the last 22 midterm elections, the president's party has lost seats in the House of Representatives. There's reasons for that. Every president makes promises he doesn't keep. And every president, particularly a magnetic figure like Trump, draws in voters who don't bother to come to, they're marginally interested in politics, don't come to the polls. So the historic trends are very, very clear. President's party almost always loses seats in an off-year election. Even Ronald Reagan, as popular as he was in 1992, Republicans lost 26 seats in the House of Representatives. The question is, how many, and does it give Democrats the majority?
We shall see. Steve, thanks for your time as always. We appreciate it. ABC News political analyst Steve Roberts.
Follow up on a story we brought you in July. Back then, we were wondering how could they offer gas prices so low at certain stations on the East Coast? Well, the company behind President Trump-promoted gas station change is being sued for non-payment for that gas. News Nation's Marky Martin reports.
The White House launched more than 24 Freedom Fuel gas stations last month. They sold gas for as much as dollars per gallon less than its competitors. A lawsuit filed a fuel supplier claims the company acquired over 1 million gallons of fuel to fill the Freedom Fuel tanks, but never paid for it. A White House official over the weekend distanced the administration from the suit, now claiming that there had been, quote, zero contact or dealings with those involved.
A Connecticut mother's road to recovery after a bad crash, including a little support from Taylor Swift. Here's News Nation's Ethan Logue.
Back in July, while driving at night on I-95 in Hopkinton, Ashley Taunton, a Connecticut mother of 3, pulled over to check on a driver and his passengers after she witnessed them hydroplane. But as she was assisting, another car on the highway hydroplaned and headed straight for Taunton. At the last second, she even pushed one of the people she was helping out of harm's way.
And it was kind of just like when you get rolled by a wave, like a really big wave, but times 1,000, and just felt like a big explosion.
Taunton was taken to an area hospital where she would spend the next 31 days. During that time, she says she underwent 3 major surgeries over the course of 3 days, went into hypovolemic shock and needed to be resuscitated, and was in an induced coma for 4 days. But she says through her faith, family, and all the incredible work from nurses and first responders, she's begun the recovery process.
My kids visited me in the hospital all the time. My church friends and family. My husband has been just a rock.
Then came the donation. Taunton says her friend, who is a huge Taylor Swift fan herself, had set a GoFundMe page for Ashley to help cover medical and everyday expenses. Taunton says her friend messaged her husband Joe with the news while he was with Ashley at a physical therapy appointment on Friday.
He was there with me and he's like, Taylor Swift just donated $50,000. I'm like, no way. I'm like, that can't be real. I'm like, maybe it's somebody else and they just say Taylor Swift. It was mind-blowing.
And although a long road lies ahead for Taunton in the recovery process, she is grateful to be back surrounded by family.
Thankfully, my head was spared. I'm cognitive. I can enjoy all the blessings of my family. So the body will heal.
wishing you the best recovery possible and sending love to your family. That's the message that's signed by Taylor Swift on the GoFundMe page.
That's News Nation's Ethan Logue.
At 5:53, we check traffic on the 3s. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And we are all clear on eastbound 18 to I-5 in the Federal Way area there after that long-term crash. So all of the emergency vehicles have taken off, and we are in pretty good shape there. Now we can start concentrating on the freeways themselves. And we're starting to see a little bit of braking here and there. Up the Valley Freeway out of Auburn, we've got about a 40-minute trip total from Puyallup to Renton. A little bit of braking right at 405. A little bit through the S-curves now, but we're under 20 minutes to make the drive to Bellevue. Looking at northbound I-5, seeing some slowing as we work our way past the 405 corridor in Tukwila, but we've got about a 40-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle. That's not bad at all. Olympia to Tacoma, 35 minutes for you. Lake bridges are quiet. Southbound I-5, looks like we have a new crash right there at 522 as you come down out of Northgate. So we're already off to the races on that drive. 45 minutes Everett to Seattle, about 35 from Everett into Bellevue. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Hey, Sully, did you notice an extra body in the studio this morning?
An extra body?
Charlie's back.
Oh, hell yeah. I wondered what that lump of whatever was over there.
Hey, I'm right here, Sully.
Oh, yeah, you are. Good to have you back.
It is good to be back. Taking a look at the forecast today, it is going to be a nice Monday as things go. We have rain on the way later in the week. Today's high, 74, 72. Tomorrow, Wednesday, is when we get some rain, and it might be stormy. 66 for our high.
That sounds very fallish.
Yeah, I felt like when I was coming back yesterday, or late last week, I've just entered fall from the very warm eastern Washington.
Welcome to it.
Yeah.
I trust you had a nice time off?
Yes, I did. It was great. We can talk about that throughout the morning. But I will tell you, Chelan, they need the tourists right now.
Yeah,
they need
struggling.
it bad. Yep.
Yeah. All right, coming up in the next hour of Seattle's Morning News, some more of the day's top local stories. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch reports on the contract talks between Seattle Public Schools and the Teachers Union. Still no deal. He'll have the update.
And at 6:15, Crime and Punishment, our weekly check-in with Casey McNerthy at the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office.
Love to hear from you on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line at 888-973-5476.
So good to have you here this Monday morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Swung on and destroyed. Grand Slam, Cal Raleigh.
2027 Mariners season ticket memberships are on sale now, and the benefits start right away. Members get access to exclusive discounts, T-Mobile Park pre-sales, and more. Come on board today with one of two great options. Reserved memberships let you secure the best locations in the ballpark so you can make your favorite spot home all summer long. Whether you want to catch 20 games or the whole season.
Young with a diving catch. Cole Young taking a hit away.
Or go with a flex membership and enjoy the freedom to choose your seats, games, and number of tickets as you go. Terrace Club, bleachers, right behind the dugout. Build your season any way you want. All plans include great savings and member perks. Secure yours today at mariners.com/27.
Swung on and missed a slider straight venom. Andres Munoz with the punch out.
Mariners baseball. Right ends up.
When you order a ride from a rideshare company, do you know what you're getting? Big rideshare companies have been caught failing to protect passengers from dangerous drivers and not supporting drivers and passengers after an accident, all to protect their profits. That's why if you've been injured in a rideshare vehicle, you need Davis Law Group to protect you. Their in-house team of investigators and legal staff has a successful track record of taking on rideshare companies, and they've won millions. Visit DavisLawGroupSeattle.com.
The new SR 167 Expressway is opening soon.
Sweet.
It'll be the shortcut between I-5 and SR 509 near Fife.
A shortcut.
Yep, 2 miles of open expressway. Drivers can take it to avoid congestion on other roads, and freight trucks can take it directly to the Port of Tacoma. When tolling begins this winter, drivers with a good-to-go pass will pay $1.
Oh, $1?
That's right. And to make sure everyone's ready, sticker passes are available right now at no cost. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, a well-insulated attic can be your home's secret weapon. Upgrading attic insulation is a cost-effective way to make your home more energy efficient. It also helps keep your home warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Better insulation equals better air quality, less moisture, and no mold, improving the air quality you and your family breathe. Call now for $300 off attic sealing and ventilation, and visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Is your car's AC blowing warm air? Don't sweat it. Right now, save $50 on any AC service at Bucky's Complete Auto Repair. Honest pricing, guaranteed work, 16 family-owned locations, and no appointment needed. Stay cool this summer. Bucky's.com.
Pet Decorator wood floors are not only gorgeous, they perform better than all other wood floors. Here's a few examples. The patented finish is made to last a lifetime. Antimicrobial and no VOC. Waterproof. Easy installation with a lifetime warranty. The most pet-friendly wood floor anywhere. Available at Sound Kitchen and Bath. Call today, petdecorator.com.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Fright in the Grand Canyon with floodwaters rushing through. Erica Viola had to try to move fast.
Running as hard as I could, but you can't get too far in knee-deep mud and water and debris everywhere. And yeah, there was a moment there where I didn't think I was going to be able to make it in time.
She did make it out, but 14 people are still missing in the Grand Canyon, one confirmed to have died. In Nepal, the death toll from flash flooding is now over 900 people. And for people like Suni Patel, whose father was there, hope is dimming.
It gets harder with every minute, every hour, really, to stay positive, because we would have hoped that we would have heard something from them by now.
Around 4,800 people are still missing. Oil prices for Brent crude rising this morning, now over $91 a barrel after the U.S. and Iran traded fire for the first time in a month. This is ABC News. A random act of kindness from one of the world's biggest superstars to a mom in Rhode Island injured while helping others. The story from ABC's Sophie Flay.
Ashley Taunton was driving through torrential rain on I-95 in Rhode Island last month when she saw a car ahead of her hydroplane off the road. The mother of three pulled over and ran to help the three teenagers inside. Moments later,
I just saw a car coming really fast.
She suffered a collapsed lung, a lacerated liver, and a severe leg injury, needing 3 surgeries. As the bills piled up, a family started a GoFundMe fundraiser online. But then came a massive donation, $50,000 from Taylor Swift.
I want to be able to hug her.
Her donation came with a note saying, wishing you the best recovery possible and sending love to your family.
4 baby goats in North Carolina had to be put down because they may have been infected with rabies. They were taken to mobile petting zoos all weekend. Anybody who visited those in North Carolina might want to call their doctor. This is ABC News.
At 6:02, here's what's happening.
Now the clock is ticking for Seattle Public Schools and the Teachers Union to reach a new contract. James Lynch will have the update in a moment.
The Paradise Fire in Walla Walla County has prompted an emergency declaration from Governor Ferguson. State leaders warn ash and debris could contaminate drinking water for about 35,000 residents.
Fred Meyer is closing its James Center store in Tacoma, the second Tacoma location to shut down in about a year. The Grocery Workers Union blames rising rent.
And a 12,000 square foot Spanish-style mansion in Gig Harbor is on the market for only $8.9 million. It was even used as a film set for a 2018 crime thriller.
Just saw a picture of it. It's stunning. It's 6:03 and time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes on the threes. And Chris Sullivan is watching your Monday drive.
And we're already running about 15 minutes behind schedule on southbound I-5 as you make your way from Shoreline down into the forced merge at Northgate. Looking for something right around 85th to 522 the maybe behind this other than just volume. But we're already up to 50 minutes from Everett to Seattle, 30 of that from Linwood. You compare that to 20 minutes from Linwood down into Bellevue and about 40 minutes from Everett down into Bellevue, so not great there. Looking at the rest of the map, about 40 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, Valley Freeway about 40, about 18 now from Renton to Bellevue with brake lights up the hill to about 30th. Lake bridges are still fine. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's Morning News.
Good morning. Negotiations over the weekend between Seattle Public Schools and the Teachers Union ended without an agreement, and now a strike looms.
KIRO News Radio's James Lynch joins us live with the latest.
Good morning, Manda, and welcome back, Charlie. KIRO 7 reports Seattle Public Schools and the union, representing 6,000 teachers and staff, have until midnight tomorrow to reach a new contract agreement. If they don't, members of the Seattle Education Association say they will strike on Wednesday, the planned first day of school. That would delay the start of the year for about 50,000 students across more than 100 schools, leaving many families scrambling for childcare and other alternatives to care for their children if school doesn't start on time. Here's parent Jay Watala on KIRO 7 News.
Definitely impactful in terms of, where childcare and the cost of that and trying to scramble with work and everything. But we got to take care of our teachers, too.
Now, major sticking points, continue to be special education support, wages, class and caseload sizes, increasing additional tasks, and little time to plan. Now, SEA members say they are reporting to school buildings this morning and tomorrow morning for prep days in hopes that classes will start on time.
James Lynch reporting live. Thank you, James.
Students in the North Shore School District are set to start school on time after teachers there approved a new deal. The North Shore Education Association says certificated educators ratified the 2-year deal with nearly 84% support, while education support professionals approved their agreement with almost 77% voting yes. District and union leaders say the contracts include stronger pay, benefits, and support for students and staff. Tomorrow is the first day of school for that district.
Seattle Police Department is still understaffed by hundreds of officers. And Interim Chief Andre Sales has decided to pause hiring incentives for new officers and those who move to Seattle from other departments. The bonus payments will end September 1st. In his words, manage SPD's budget after stronger than expected hiring and fewer officer departures so far this year. Here's SPD Detective Shane Weatherford.
We have a responsibility to the people of Seattle to provide the best police service while also being fiscally responsible.
The department says it remains focused on bringing qualified recruits, getting new officers through training and on patrol more quickly. Probably not coincidentally, the Bellevue Police Department posted on its X account Friday that incentives up to $30,000 are still being offered for some officers.
A social media trend called deflocking has hit the city of Covington. Police say all 8 of the city's flock safety license plate readers have been vandalized. Some teachers arrested in one case. Chief Adam Easterbrook says misinformation fueled those attacks.
That particular post that they were looking at was telling them that it was a mass surveillance program and that they should be fearful of it, and they didn't get to vote on it.
The cameras have drawn scrutiny nationwide. Some cities have turned them off over concerns they violate privacy rights. Still, Easterbrook says anyone caught destroying them could face felony charges.
Multiple fires burning right now near Snoqualmie Pass. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas.
The Three Queens, King, and Goat fires, which have grown to more than 11,000 acres combined. The Three Queens, that's the largest. More than 8,500 acres, only 5% contained. The other two at 0% containment.
Those who live and work in downtown Kent can look forward to quieter days and nights. No more train horn blasts in the middle of the night or during the day. Here's KIRO News Radio's Tom Brock.
A new law is in effect the city has been working on for 14 years. It means train conductors no longer have to blow their horns unless they see a safety concern. Kent Mayor Dana Ralph talked about the change in a video posted on YouTube.
If the conductor sees something on the tracks, they will still blow their horn. But as a matter of course, that horn will not have to be activated.
And it comes after the city and state spent $6 million on safety upgrades at railroad crossings. Tom Brock, KIRO News Radio.
Well, a 16-year-old tennis star we told you about a couple weeks ago. She's from Redmond. She's already earned $140,000 at the U.S. Open. She hasn't even played a main draw match yet. While training for the qualifying rounds earlier this month, Christina Lutova told KIRO News Radio she wants to take care of her mom.
I want to make sure that she's happy and in the future she has easy life, kind of, a house, a cat, and just watch my matches with no worries and no pressure.
She's the youngest player in the tournament, first born in the 2010s to reach a Grand Slam main draw. She faces an Olympic gold medalist this morning at 8 o'clock. You can read more at mynorthwest.com.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Who are you again?
My name is Charlie Harger. It's nice to be back.
I don't know why. It feels like you were gone for a long time.
Yeah, doing a week of this. Well, you got Sully and David here.
I actually admitted on the air last week that I missed you.
Wow. Was that the real Manda? Was some sort of clone in here?
No, it's nice to have you back.
It's a temporary lapse.
Yeah. It's great to be back. Really some great times. We went and camped out on Lake Chelan for a few days.
Not too smoky?
Not too smoky. Watched some of those firefighting planes come down and scoop up water, and they just went a couple miles away to put out stuff quickly. Then went over to Winthrop for a couple days. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've never been to actual Winthrop to stay.
You got to go.
Yeah.
You got to go.
Nice.
We have a nice hour of the show in front of us. We have Casey McNerthy, who's on the way from the prosecuting attorney's office, and he's going to talk about juvenile crime and how they've been prosecuting it, especially in the month of July.
All right, and Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to take a look at this new crash that we have on southbound I-5 in Northgate. Multiple lanes of the freeway blocked. This one just happened.
This is Seattle's
This is a
Morning
special
News.
alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
Hey, it's Flo here to say drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
Nice. With my new savings, I'll get some hiking gear. It'll be great for my outdoor era.
I don't know if it counts as an era if you just buy stuff.
I got a cute hiking backpack. It's an outdoor era.
Well, you only bought one thing. I don't think it's an era.
Well, I think we're in a agree to disagree era.
Yeah, sure, you're probably right. Anyway, with the money you could save by switching to Progressive, you can afford to switch to other things in life. It's
my savings era.
Also, everything you do is not an era.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time. Like on Wash and Wax, you can get 3 Meguiar's products for just $20. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
At Carrier, we know that a comfortable home is a happy one. Whether it's with innovative breakthroughs in heating and cooling efficiency, or with different ways to control your home's temperature and air quality, we are always imagining new ways to make your home totally comfortable.
Turn to the experts and let your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer improve your home's comfort and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find an expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
6:12 now. Let's get a check on the weather. We're joined by KIRO 7 pinpoint meteorologist Nick Aller. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning. We have a really nice morning out there. We're seeing a little bit of fog, sure, and a mix of kind of just some clouds and sun. And you'll see a little more patchy fog to get the day going, mainly right now in Snohomish County. But you might find a little bit for places like Olympia, Bellingham, maybe a little around Puyallup or Bremerton. And then we're just going to go with partly cloudy to mostly sunny. And highs will be easily today into the mid and upper 70s. So really nothing crazy. A pretty nice day overall. And then tomorrow, a little more cloud cover and slightly cooler, say about 70 to 72. Eventually, you might even see a few sprinkles. And then Wednesday, as everybody's back to school, I'm thinking we're going with some increasing clouds and areas of rain on the way for the afternoon and evening. After that, we're going to find it to be breezy to windy in the evening as well. That's just an active one for sure. Thursday, scattered showers, chance for some thunderstorms. Both days are in the mid-60s. And outside of a few showers closer to the Canadian border Friday, we should be drier right now through the weekend, at least mainly dry. I just think we have some active weather for Wednesday evening and Thursday, because why not? If we're going to go back to school, let's just do it with some craziness.
Let's begin fall early. All right, Nick, right now in Seattle, it's 58.
And it's 6:13. Time for a check on traffic every 10 minutes on the threes. Here's Sully.
All right, we got a new crash to tell you about. Well, two of them, actually. Southbound I-5 is the biggest one. Right there before you get to Northgate, we've got the HOV lane blocked and 2 left lanes blocked. So 3 out of 5 lanes are blocked in the southbound direction for this crash. Right there around 120th before you get to that forced merge. And we're backed up all the way to 175th in Shoreline already. You're going to need an hour from Everett into Seattle at this point. That is a 20 to 25 minute delay over what you might have expected. You look at the I-405 corridor, has a little bit of braking in Canyon Park, only 40 minutes total though to make that drive down into Bellevue. The second crash that just happened in the last little bit, northbound I-5, right after 599 there at the interurban coming up through Tukwila, right at the top of the Duwamish curve. HOV lane is blocked there, so we're up over 45 minutes now from Federal Way to Seattle. About 42 from Puyallup to Renton to Bellevue is about 20. Lake bridges are fine. A little bit of action northbound I-5 coming up through DuPont, but nothing you can't handle. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
King County prosecutors are trying to give the public a clearer look at what happens after criminal cases reach their office. They've released new numbers on juvenile cases, including how often cases are diverted instead of prosecuted through the traditional court system. Casey McNerthy is with the King County Prosecutor's Office and joins us for our Crime and Punishment segment. Casey, the numbers here show 86 of 114 juvenile cases in July were diverted or otherwise kept out of traditional prosecution. You say that number needs context. Why shouldn't we look at a number of 86 out of 114, not be concerned?
Well, I think that when everybody hears juvenile crime, they think of the stories that they hear in the news, shootings or robberies or carjackings or really serious crimes. But when you hear the context, which is only one of those was a felony case and it was nonviolent, and the overwhelming majority of those diverted cases were mandatory diversions under state law, it's a very different picture. Because
what does that mean, mandatory diversion?
So there are many misdemeanors that state lawmakers have said, hey, you've got to divert these. That are nonviolent crimes, lower level crimes that state lawmakers have told prosecutors across the state, hey, you can't send that to the courts. It's got to go through a diversion program so the kid can change his behavior or have an opportunity to. When you hear just the number, it's like, wow, you diverted that many cases. What people understandably think is you diverted that many gun cases or robberies or carjackings, and that's absolutely not the case.
Okay, so this isn't, I'm assuming, inclusive of the Bite of Seattle shooting?
No. A case like that would never go to diversion because if you use a gun, that's got to go to a courtroom. If you carjack somebody, if you have an armed robbery, if any of those Class A felonies wouldn't go to diversion. What we're talking about here are almost exclusively, except for one, misdemeanor cases, and largely ones where state lawmakers say, hey, this is what you've got to do.
And this is throughout the whole of King County, not just Seattle specifically?
Right, yeah.
So what does diversion look like? What happens there?
There's 4 different routes that it could go. There's court diversion. There's FERS, which is a intervention for family violence, for domestic violence cases, especially in cases where there's got to be an arrest. There's the mandatory arrest in Seattle and other areas. There's the Safe Start Track, which is another program where there's mentorship for kids, again, mostly in misdemeanor cases. And also RCP, Restorative Community Pathways, which has gotten a lot of attention, but what also King County prosecutors have said, hey, we're not going to send felony cases there.
How much of this aligns with just the overall drop in violent crime we've been talking about?
Probably part of it. It's hard to say exactly what has led to the drop in violent crime, and we would certainly like to take credit, but I don't think that's fair to say it's exclusively prosecutors. It's a combination of things. It's both police referring cases and prosecutors charging them. It's also the community stepping up and doing their part, and some of these mentorship programs actually working. But it's a combination of all of those, and probably the changing environment too, because as we saw things changing through COVID, things get back to a bit of a norm too.
So, Casey, in this one juvenile case that is being prosecuted here, tell us about this. So this, I think, might drive you nuts because I know how much these cases make you want to pull your hair out. But the one felony case that was diverted, that was a juvenile case, was a graffiti case where there was a kid that was caught by the State Patrol that was spray painted on a barrier wall. And you can see the breakdown of each of these cases in this report on our website, where you see the summary of what happened in each of them. But this was a kid who didn't have a prior history, who cooperated with troopers, admitted to what he was doing, and then he was sent to the Safe Start Track program that provides mentoring to kids that are caught in low-level property crimes. Really, it was the amount of damage to repair it on that wall that made it a felony. If this was a kid who had a long history or who didn't cooperate with police, it would be a very different analysis. We're speaking with Casey McNerthney from the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. Casey, separately, prosecutors filed 39 cases involving guns in July. You've described some of those numbers as actually reassuring. 39 gun cases in 1 month still sounds like a lot. So what makes this good news?
Well, there's a couple of ways to look at that are encouraging. On the juvenile track, 35 of those 39 cases involve adults. And so overwhelmingly, it's adults that are using guns. We're still concerned about those 4 cases that went through traditional prosecution for the juveniles. Seattle, which is the largest city in King County, had the bulk of those cases. 22 of the overall 39 cases were in Seattle. That's kind of understandable because of the mass population there. The other reassuring part is there are many cities that didn't see big spikes or big numbers of gun crimes last month, and where they typically don't see those. For example, Federal Way had 1 case, Tukwila had 1 case, Des Moines had 2, Auburn had 3, and so there's many cities in King County that have huge population numbers that don't see big numbers of gun crimes, and hopefully that's reassuring for folks who live there.
Casey McNerthney, King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. Casey, thanks for your time today.
It's good to see you, Charlie.
On the Cape Peninsula, a vacant home up for sale was left flooded and trashed after a late-night break-in. Pierce County deputies say 2 15-year-old boys were caught leaving the property, and inside they found water pouring from the ceiling, paint thrown everywhere, utilities ripped from the walls. Deputy Carly Capetto says it's devastating for the owners.
This home is going to be about $100,000 in damages, and it will unfortunately be the cost to the homeowner, which is very sad.
The teens were arrested and face felony charges, including first-degree burglary and first-degree malicious mischief. You can see video of this at mynorthwest.com.
The jury in the trial of Lindsay Clancy will be back in the deliberation room after spending 10 hours deliberating on Friday. Here's News Nation's Laura Engel.
Friday, we got that first glimpse at where deliberations are. Jurors wanted to see evidence, asking to review the knife that Clancy used during her suicide attempt, along with bags containing prescription pill bottles. Those medications, of course, a major part of the 5-week trial all along. The defense attorney arguing Clancy's mental health had deteriorated. She was suffering postpartum psychosis. She was over-medicated before the killings. And the prosecutors say she was depressed, but she knew what she was doing. She knew right from wrong, and she made a deliberate choice to kill all 3 of her children. children.
Jurors have several possible verdicts: first-degree murder, second-degree murder, manslaughter, not guilty to a lack of criminal responsibility, or not guilty.
ICE agents will have a new tool available, an electric shock glove. The agency claims it will help officers control resisting detainees and avoid using more serious or lethal weapons. Here's News Nation's Xavier Walton.
ICE received more than $16.5 million for 6,000 electric shock gloves. Officials say this is a less lethal option for officers to get control of a situation without immediately grabbing a taser or a firearm. Now, the administration says the goal is officer safety, but critics disagree and say it gives agents just another tool to misuse. Late last week, a group of Democratic senators sent ICE's acting director a letter saying the agency should cancel the contract, focus on de-escalation and training.
ICE says the gloves will be deployed under approved policies, training requirements, and accountability standards.
It's 6:23. We check traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
Looks like everybody forgot how to drive over the weekend because we added another crash to the mix. Now 3 major crashes here in the last little bit. I'm going to start with the biggie, which is the one southbound I-5 approaching Northgate, our primary commuting route. We have the HOV lane blocked, the left general purpose lane blocked, and the left center lane blocked. So 3 out of 5 lanes are blocked at this particular moment, and there are a bunch of people involved in this, and they're all standing on the freeway as they try to figure out what's happening. Either way, we're backed up significantly, running 25 minutes behind schedule. It's already an hour from Everett into Seattle. You compare that to a 40-minute trip total from Everett into Bellevue. Other crash we've been dealing with is on northbound I-5 getting up to the Duwamish curve, approaching the MLK Boeing access road. This one had been blocking the HOV lane and left general purpose lane. It's moved over to the right side now. The right lane is blocked, and we're backed up for coming out of Tukwila. And another new crash, this one right around just north of 272nd, coming up out of Federal Way. Not sure which lane is blocked, but there is something blocking, and we're backed up to 320th. So we're getting close to an hour to make the drive from Federal Way to Seattle. That's also a 20-minute delay. Puyallup to Renton, 40 minutes. 25 from Renton to Bellevue. Lake Bridges are fine. Olympia to Tacoma's got heavy brake lights through DuPont. Overall, about 42 minutes there. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Forecast looks like it will be kind of warm today, a high of 74 in Seattle. That includes some partly sunny skies. Starts to deteriorate tomorrow with more clouds, 72 the high. By Wednesday, rainy and windy, 66 the forecast high. Right now, it's 58 in Seattle.
Coming up, KIRO News Radio's James Lynch reports on the planned walkout today amongst thousands of public employees in our state. We'll also get to the opening bell report on Seattle's Morning News.
We're here for Closets by Design. Mornings fall apart when closets don't work. The pantry's jammed, garage useless. Most homes are never designed for real life. Closets by Design is not just closets. We're talking garages, pantries, laundry rooms, home offices, wall beds, all custom built, nothing off a shelf. Everything finally has a place. Limited time, 40% off, plus an additional 15% off, and 18 months, 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
The Jake and Spike Show, weekdays noon to 3.
Dolly Parton was a force of nature. You lose your icons as time marches forward, and when you get to be my age, and I'm a lot older than you or Laura are.
With Dolly, what's interesting is different generations here.
Absolutely.
But everybody has some touchstone with her. You either knew who she was because she's she's always been there. My entire life, she's been a super famous presence.
Watch the Jake and Spike Show live or later on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
Did you see what Olympia is calling their latest new tax?
The millionaire's tax? Yep.
It's really an income tax.
So what's the difference?
A millionaire's tax doesn't sound like it applies to you, but it does. Olympia created the income tax and refused to limit it. They left the door open to tax everyone, including you.
So what do we do?
Vote yes on Initiative 645. It repeals the income tax completely, so Olympia can't expand it and get into your paycheck.
Wait, we're repealing an income tax?
Yes, we're repealing an income tax.
And we vote yes to repeal it?
Yes. Vote yes to repeal the income tax.
Okay. Vote yes to repeal the income tax.
Well, see, they picked that name on purpose. Tell your friends vote yes on Initiative 645. Let's repeal the income tax. Visit voteyes645.com for more information. Paid for by Vote Yes, Repeal the Income Tax. Top 5 contributors, BIAW Member Services Corp., Peter and Liz Moorkill, Catalan Solutions, Inc., Steve Gordon.
The new SR 167 Expressway is opening soon.
Sweet.
It'll be the shortcut between I-5 and SR 509 near 5.
A shortcut.
Yep, 2 miles of open expressway. Drivers can take it to avoid congestion on other roads, and freight trucks can take it directly to the Port of Tacoma. When tolling begins this winter, drivers with a good-to-go pass will pay $1.
Oh, $1?
That's right. And to make sure everyone's ready, sticker passes are available right now at no cost. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
As kids go back to school, AAA Washington reminds you to zone in and slow down when driving in school zones. In recent studies, 71% of drivers were observed speeding through school zones, and 31% admitted to using their phone while driving through school zones. Please keep your eyes off your phone, pay attention to your speed, and focus on students, signage, and AAA school safety patrollers. If we all zone in and slow down, everyone can get to and from school safely.
Anthony Hamilton with Tony, live in the Tulalip Amphitheater, Thursday, September 10th. Tickets are on sale now. Details at TulalipCasino.com.
Guys, if your energy is down, your workouts feel harder, and your drive isn't what it used to be, it may not be aging. It could be low testosterone. At Revive Health here in Seattle, the first step is simple: a free testosterone exam and consultation with an experienced medical provider. We'll review your labs, symptoms, and overall health to determine if testosterone therapy could help improve your energy, strength, and performance. And for a limited time, qualified patients can get started with a free month of TRT. Revive has helped over 120,000 men since 2011 improve energy, sleep, mood, and confidence. If something feels off, don't ignore it. Get answers and take control of your health. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivehealth.com. Revive Health. Elevate your vibe. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact Revive for full details.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. You know the saying, save it for a rainy day? Don't do that when it comes to replacing your roof. The weather might be nice right now, but we know how fast the weather changes. Fall storms are just around the corner, and contractor schedules are filling up fast. If a new roof has been on your to-do list, don't risk another wet fall and winter. Call Valentine Roofing now. With Valentine's priority scheduling, your new roof project can get started in as little as 3 weeks. In about an hour, you'll get a fair estimate with honest, upfront pricing before the seasonal demand picks up. With approved financing, there's no money down, and you won't pay until your roofing project is complete. And when you call Valentine for your next project, you're going to get the same Valentine experience I did. Seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra mile service. Thousands of homeowners across the Puget Sound, like me, trust Valentine Roofing to protect what matters most. Don't wait for the first leak. Call 206 Roofing today to get started within 3 weeks. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red van, you know your home is in good hands.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
It's 6:31. Good morning. Washington State public employees all over Western Washington are walking off the job today as they push for a new contract.
James Lynch is following the story, joins us live with the latest. James?
The Washington Federation of State Employees says staff will use breaks and lunch periods to rally outside job sites. They're demanding higher pay, safer staffing, and an end to what they call austerity policies. More than 50,000 members say rising workloads, vacancies, and pay that's simply not keeping up with the cost of living have all led to the planned walkout. It's been dubbed Walkout with Washington, and it aims to pressure Governor Ferguson and higher education leaders to invest in public workers and protect critical services for families all across Washington.
So to be clear, this isn't a strike, and they're not walking out from their day-to-day responsibilities.
Exactly, Charlie. It shouldn't affect day-to-day operations where they're walking out. They're, again, going to use breaks and their lunch periods to do that, so the rest of the day should flow pretty smoothly.
James Lynch reporting live.
A contract deadline is fast approaching for Seattle Public Schools, and the union, representing about 6,000 teachers and staff.
A 5-day walkout in 2022 had families scrambling to find last-minute childcare, and families are once again considering options.
I'm just going to plan on staying home this week, no matter what, for sort of separate reasons. And if it goes on beyond that, well, I don't really have a contingency plan at this time, I'm sorry to say.
Would you need to find some childcare for him?
I wouldn't be able to go back. I don't have any childcare options.
During the last strike, Seattle offered drop-in centers, but the programs filled up quickly, leaving thousands of families out.
KIRO 7 TV's Heather Bosch.
Salvation Army celebrating the opening of its new housing facility in Everett.
They're calling it the New Start Center, designed to house people coming from emergency shelters. The Salvation Army saying it helps get them ready for a permanent home while also helping with behavioral support and employment assistance.
The mission for this project really is to treat people with dignity, to have a high level of care, and to see people into that permanent housing.
The facility is right across the street from the Walmart along Everett Mall Way, has 73 units, and the Salvation Army hopes to get people moved in and connected to more resources by the end of next month.
That was KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas reporting.
It's 6:33. That's time for a check on traffic, which we do every 10 minutes on the 3. It's kind of a rough start to the week, Sully.
Yeah, definitely. We've had 3 crashes in the last 45 minutes. All but one of them has cleared. The good news is the big one has cleared. All the lanes of southbound I-5 have reopened getting into Northgate. For a while, we had 3 out of 5 lanes blocked. Now everything is wide open. Problem is, we got a 4.5-mile backup all the way to Mount Lake Terrace and an hour and 20-minute trip from Everett to Seattle, an hour alone from Linwood. So we are 30 minutes behind schedule to start the work week on the I-5 corridor. Hoping this will get better, and it is a little bit from south to north, but we got work to do. You compare that to about a 45-minute trip total from Everett into Bellevue, and 405 is way better. We have cleared the crash entirely off to the right shoulder at the top of the Duwamish curve on northbound 5, so that's getting better. And it looks like we still have the right lane partially blocked on northbound 5 near north of 272nd, so that Federal Way to Seattle Drive is running at an hour. That's a 20-minute delay there. Puyallup to Renton, 45. Renton to Bellevue, about 20. And looks like we might have had a crash getting up towards Mounts Road on northbound I-5. That's why we're really heavy out of Lacey. 45 minutes, Olympia to Tacoma. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Headed for a high of 74 with partly cloudy skies today. Right now downtown, it's 58.
From ABC News, Wall Street Now. The first U.S. military strike on Iran in about a month has pushed oil prices higher. International benchmark Brent crude was trading overnight at $90 a barrel. AAA puts the average price of a gallon of gas at $4.08, up a penny since yesterday. Time to clean up the grill for a Labor Day cookout. But if your grill brush bears the name Cuisinart, toss it or take it back. 3.5 million have been recalled after reports of the tiny steel bristles breaking off and being swallowed. Some people have needed medical attention. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Interest rates could be headed back up on Friday. Federal Reserve Chair Kevin Warsh warned the central bank may need to hike rates in the coming months to fight inflation. In his first high-profile speech at the Fed's annual conference, he emphasized inflation is still too high, but insisted the underlying economy remains strong.
Inflation is running above our 2% target. So the Fed's predominant focus right now should be on prices.
Democrats blame President Donald Trump's tariffs and Middle East conflicts for high inflation. Trump insists energy prices will drop once the wars end, opposing higher interest rates to protect home buyers. Still, 70% of Americans rate the economy as poor.
House Speaker Mike Johnson is expected to put a continuing resolution bill on the floor this week as House members return back from the summer recess. The government has until the end of September to fund the government or risk another shutdown. Here's News Nation's Jackie Koppel in Washington, D.C.
Now, Speaker Johnson is also reportedly planning to meet with Elon Musk, the billionaire and GOP donor. He's considering spending about $100 million to support Republicans. That's according to Politico. And of course, Democrats are eager to win back the House and Senate to pursue their priorities. They say this includes addressing affordability. They've also promised to be more forceful as a check against the president if they get the majority in either chamber.
The Senate returns from break September 14th.
The U.S. is taking effective majority control of a $65 billion, make that barrels of proven Venezuelan oil reserves. News Nation's Hannah Brandt tells us it won't bring immediate relief at the pump in the U.S. like the White House is promising.
Whether it'll lower gas prices in the near term, it doesn't seem likely. But President Trump is certainly saying that that is the goal for this deal in the longer term. And the foundation of the deal is the U.S. and a private partner who formed a new private company that Venezuela is now giving the rights to 17 untapped oil fields with a proven potential of 65 billion barrels of oil.
The U.S. secures a 55% stake, giving the military and the Strategic Petroleum Reserve the right to buy the extracted crude strictly at cost.
As prices continue to worry American shoppers, the president prepares to unveil new options he says will help lower costs for American beef in grocery stores.
The Trump administration is expected to announce new rules this week to make it easier for cattle ranchers to process their own meat and sell directly to consumers without USDA inspections. President Trump saying the few companies that control most of the meat processing capacity in the U.S. make up a, quote, nasty monopoly. Some producers say that consolidation, among other issues, has driven up prices, and cutting red tape could help.
That's ABC's Allison Cossack.
Airbnb stepping up to help Washington wildfire survivors. Airbnb.org has expanded its free emergency housing program for people forced from their homes by this summer's wildfires. People who live in Spokane, Stevens, Chelan, Okanagan, Yakima, and Ferry counties, along with several tribal communities, may qualify for temporary stays. Displaced people can call 211 to be connected with housing assistance.
One of the biggest real estate deals in East Side history could be in the works. The Freeman family announced it's exploring the sale of the Bellevue collection. That 5.5 million square foot complex includes Bellevue Square, Bellevue Place, and Lincoln Square. Developer Kemper Freeman Jr. retired last year after running the business for more than 50 years. According to the Seattle Times, no buyer or asking price has been named yet. Everything stays open in the meantime.
Wall Street, we're opening the trading week in the red. The Dow has dropped 269 points. That's 0.5%. S&P 500 is down 31, and the NASDAQ has dropped 108.
A word for KIRO 7. It starts on your street, in your home, with a problem you're struggling to solve. That's where KIRO 7 Investigates comes in. They show up, they ask hard questions, they get you answers. When your story is seen, change isn't just possible, it's already happening. Watch KIRO 7 News weeknights 5 to 6:30 p.m. and at KIRO7.com/investigates.
Already a busy Monday morning. Sully, where will we start with traffic?
We will start coming down out of the shoreline area. 30-minute delays southbound I-5. We'll talk about it next.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
KIRO News Radio, where you hear the John Curley Show, 3 to 7.
The media's in the passenger seat. The government's driving the bus.
Problem is, I don't know how the government gets people's trust back, and I don't know how the media gets the trust back as well. We've become a low-trust society. I don't know if we're as bad as the former USSR or Russia is now. Truth is whatever anybody pays it to be, and somebody wants to believe it for whatever reason somebody wants to believe it.
Watch live or later on the John Curley Show's YouTube channel.
Holy smokes!
The On Cruise Adventures Rick Riz Show.
What happened at the ballpark yesterday?
Sparky's sitting on my scorebook here, my cat.
Friday mornings at 8:15 on Seattle's Morning News.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $3 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
At Carrier, we know that a comfortable home is a happy one. Whether it's with innovative breakthroughs in heating and cooling efficiency, or with different ways to control your home's temperature and air quality, we are always imagining new ways to make your home totally comfortable.
Turn to the experts and let your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer improve your home's comfort and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find an expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Not all roofs are created equal, and not all warranties are either. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Right now, take advantage of free lifetime Golden Pledge warranties on all GAF shingle installations and save up to $3,000 or choose 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. Summertime savings won't last forever. Protect your home with a roof you can count on for decades. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
It's 6:43. We check traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
And we continue to struggle coming down out of the Linwood area after a crash we had in Northgate. We still have about a 5-mile backup to get through with just a little bit of a gap in the middle, and an hour drive just from Linwood down into Seattle, and an hour and 20 all the way from the Everett area. So that's a total of about a 30-minute delay for a Monday at this time of day coming down through that corridor. All the cars have moved over to the shoulder and out of the way, but damage is done. Looking at I-405, a lot of people are starting to go that way, but the good news is it's a little lighter volume today. So overall, we're looking at about 45 to 50 minutes from Everett into Bellevue. So way faster than I-5, but still, it has its own challenges. Northbound I-5 still kind of struggling through the Duwamish curve. There is still a lot of action from this earlier crash that's over on the right-hand shoulder. There's enough that a lot of people are trying to get over a lane to give them a little bit of room to work. And then we have this crash near north of 272nd, which is also still blocking a right lane. Well over an hour from Federal Way to Seattle. Valley Freeway, 45 to 50 minutes, depending on how you hit it. 25 minutes from Renton to Bellevue with the brake lights in the usual places. Lake bridges are still fine. Olympia to Tacoma still struggling at about 45 minutes. So we're still working, I think, with the remnants of this crash as we get past Mounts Road. Still looking at some brake lights through that corridor. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Our forecast, mix of clouds and sun for your Monday. 74, the expected high. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, 72. We're gradually going to cool off. Wednesday, look for a rainy, windy day, 66 on Wednesday. Thursday's just spotty showers, maybe a thunder shower, and 65. Right now in Seattle, it's partly cloudy and 58.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show, Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Well, it's a massive oil deal between the U.S. and Venezuela.
We get more on this from ABC's Brad Milkey.
So let's think back to Friday morning. This marked exactly 6 months since the start of the war in Iran. 6 months of an operation we were told should take 4 or 5 weeks to complete. 6 months since one of the world's most valuable shipping lanes became a shooting gallery.
You gave me clearance to go. You gave me clearance to go. You are fighting now. Let me turn back.
Oil prices have risen, and what's even more unnerving to businesses is there's no reason to think this will end anytime soon. So then, Friday morning, Fed Chair Kevin Warsh comes to the mic. You remember Kevin Warsh, right? He's basically President Trump's handpicked choice to lead the Federal Reserve, where Trump basically tried to run Jerome Powell out of town. Trump's chief complaint about Powell was he never seemed to want to juice the U.S. economy by cutting interest rates. So you'd expect that Warsh, as Trump's favored replacement, would be fine cutting interest rates. Well, Friday morning, Warsh seems to signal that instead he might raise them. Inflation, he says, is just getting too high.
Inflation is running above our 2% target. So the Fed's predominant focus right now should be on prices.
Stocks went down. Mortgage rates could be going even further up. The price of a gallon of gas is at a record high for this time of year. And like I said, there is no peace deal in sight. So by Friday night, President Trump had a new economic message. If we can't get more oil out of the Middle East right now, he said, we'll at least be getting more from Venezuela. In a landmark deal, he said, the U.S. has reached an agreement with the government of Venezuela. This is a country that the U.S. military raided in January, exfiltrated their leader, Nicolas Maduro.
We built Venezuela oil industry with American talent, drive, and skill, and the socialist regime stole it from us during those previous administrations.
Under this deal, though, the U.S. will be entitled to a huge amount of Venezuela's chief export. ABC's national correspondent Stephen Portnoy starts us off today. Stephen, can you tell us exactly what's in this new oil agreement? It seems big.
Yeah, this is a really, really big deal when you look at the numbers here. I mean, the president announced in a social media post on Friday night, 65 billion barrels of Venezuela's proven oil reserves. What that equates to is more than the total amount of extractable oil that we have in the United States under all of our soil and all of our seas.
Wow.
That's about 40 billion. This is 65 billion. And the president, the way he described it on Friday night, was that the U.S. would be controlling the majority of that output. It's really, really remarkable. I spoke to some experts over the weekend, and Brad, they say that this really could be a pretty sizable shakeup in the way oil is sold on the global market, certainly in the Western Hemisphere, compared to, let's just say, the Middle East.
Well, and how unusual is that, Stephen? Because, for instance, the U.S., I believe, is still the largest oil producer on the planet. I know we would never give up that much of our oil to anyone else, let alone to one country. So is this like the result of just a different government there, the whole Maduro situation, or what?
Well, look, this comes 8 months after the president oversaw the ouster of Nicolas Maduro. He's been trying to achieve a long-term agreement with the government of the interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, who put out a statement over the weekend in which she said that the benefits of this deal are impossible to ignore.
Venezuela recibe a cambio.
In return, Venezuela receives production, jobs, investment in infrastructure, increased revenue for the government, and productive linkages for a domestic industry. The benefits are endless.
She talks about the idea that this would be great for her country in terms of an infusion of foreign capital, the necessary investments that would be required to upgrade the aging oil infrastructure of Venezuela after decades of neglect under Hugo Chavez and Nicolas Maduro. And the way it's described by a U.S. official, the United States government would go into essentially business with a private oil company in Venezuela, and the U.S. government would take majority control of this 65 billion barrel amount of oil. I mean, it's really...
to sell it or do whatever they want with it, basically.
Well, right. And so the president over the weekend was talking about using some Venezuelan oil to replenish the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, which he's tapped over recent months to offset the increased price of gasoline during the Iran war. What's important to understand, though, Brad, is that this is not going to happen anytime soon.
Well, this is my question, does this mean that prices go down at the pump?
Not immediately. You know, it's very possible that 5, 6, 7 years from now, this could fundamentally change the balance of the global oil market. But it's going to take a lot of time.
There's nothing in this agreement that's going to lower the price of gasoline in the next 5 days, 5 weeks, or 5 months. But 5 years from now, you might have a different landscape.
I spoke to one expert over the weekend, Tom Closa. He's an energy analyst at Gulf Oil.
It will make a difference eventually, given some sort of stable government and stable utilities and infrastructure there, which are kind of things that you can't necessarily count on.
We also heard from Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan.
While there's the potential promise from the president of lower gas prices, it may be potentially years, if not longer, before any of that gets realized. And
see, here's the thing. Crude oil in Venezuela is described as very heavy and thick. It has to be refined and diluted in order to turn into gasoline or jet fuel or any other kind of oil that we use in the marketplace. It's not easy to do that. And the infrastructure in Venezuela that exists now needs to be substantially updated. That's going to take a lot of time and a lot of money.
If you're operating in Texas in the Permian Basin, it's 6 or 7 months to bring some oil to market. In Venezuela, probably can't do it in 6 or 7 years, and it's going to require great sums of money.
American oil companies are going to have to get on board. For them to be enticed to do this, they're going to need some substantial guarantees from the government of Venezuela, which right now is being run by an interim president. And that interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, over the weekend, was confronting the fears that people in her country have that she's essentially signing away rights to their valuable natural resources to American imperialists.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, a country that has nationalized its oil reserves in the past, being like, no company, no foreign entity can ever get their hands on this. It's ours.
And the reason that Delcy Rodriguez is confronting these fears is because this whole idea of socialism in Latin America and a nationalized oil sector in particular in Venezuela sort of stems from the 20th century practice of Western powers coming in and taking the oil. Right. So the idea of Delcy Rodriguez having to say in a statement over the weekend that Venezuela will retain the ownership and the sovereignty is significant.
Pero hay algo que debe quedar
But there is something that must be absolutely clear. Venezuela retains ownership and sovereignty over its resources.
Look, there are a lot of questions about this. When it comes to the overall impact on what it means to Americans today, it's much more of a thing in the future than it is now.
All right, Stephen Portnoy in Washington. Thank you.
You bet, Brad.
That's ABC's Brad Milkey.
Coming up on 6:53 now, we check in with Chris Sullivan. He has seen some busy roadways this morning.
I've seen some things, Charlie.
Changes a man.
Yeah, it does. The good news is we're in recovery mode, and there are little lighter volumes. It's a Monday. So we got up to an hour and 20 from Everett into Seattle because of this crash just before Northgate. We're back down to about an hour and 5 from Everett to Seattle, so we picked up about 15 minutes. Still have 45 minutes away from Linwood, so there are brake lights in Shoreline, and then certainly past the crash site there, which was before Northgate, but everything is pretty much out of the way now, so we're kind of getting back to normal. We're looking at Everett to Bellevue now, kind of evening out. It's up to about 50 minutes total, so getting closer to that I-5 drive, so it's probably not worth it to bail one way or the other. Looking at northbound I-5, we've had a couple of different crashes there, and it looks like the one we had near 272nd has cleared as well, plus the one in the Duwamish curve still kind of hanging out on the right shoulder, and then we had one right by I-90. Overall, it's about a 50-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle, so we picked up about 10 minutes there. Valley Freeway, about 50 minutes from end to end. Renton to Bellevue is about 25. Lake bridges are good. Seeing some very heavy slowing through Tacoma again today because of the construction right by the Puyallup River Bridge. We have an early merge there because of that right lane being blocked. We're into that week 1, 51 weeks to go. or thereabouts. And for those of you heading over to the Microsoft campus on eastbound 520, we have what looks to be a little brush fire over on the right-hand side of the road. We have the right lane blocked there right around 148 there, so just be prepared. Not a huge backup around it, but just something to keep in mind if you're heading that way. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Our forecast, a nice day. We'll see a mix of clouds and sun for today, or Monday, 74 the high. Overnight low 55, mostly cloudy though tomorrow, 72, kind of a transition day as we welcome some rain and wind on Wednesday, a high of only 66 Wednesday. Thursday, some lingering showers should dry out again on Friday, but highs only in the upper 60s through the end of the week. Right now in Seattle, it's partly cloudy at 58.
Coming up, KIRO News Radio's James Lynch reports on the contract talks between Seattle Public Schools and the Teachers Union. No deal yet.
At 7:15, strikes begin again between the U.S. and Iran. We'll check in with retired Lieutenant General Richard Newton for the latest.
And set a reminder, G and Ursula have an exclusive this morning just after 9. They welcome former Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes. It's his first interview since he was forced to resign after the Bite of Seattle shooting.
This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Summer's a busy time for most businesses, and WaFd Bank is here to help you keep up. WaFd Bank has you covered with free business checking, business credit cards, credit lines, and other services to move your business forward. WaFd also offers payment processing, so customers can pay through a kiosk, a mobile app, or online for seamless transactions. And with so many options, WaFd Bank is quickly becoming an SBA preferred lender of choice, so you'll find the perfect fit to meet your goals. WaFd Bank, built for business. Visit wafdbank.com, member FDIC, loan subject to credit approval.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. You know the saying, save it for a rainy day? Don't do that when it comes to replacing your roof. The weather might be nice right now, but we know how fast the weather changes. Fall storms are just around the corner, and contractor schedules are filling up fast. If a new roof has been on your to-do list, don't risk another wet fall and winter. Call Valentine Roofing now. With Valentine's priority scheduling, your new roof project can get started in as little as 3 weeks. In about an hour, you'll get a fair estimate with honest, upfront pricing before the seasonal demand picks up. With approved financing, there's no money down, and you won't pay until your roofing project is complete. And when you call Valentine for your next project, you're going to get the same Valentine experience I did. Seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra mile service. Thousands of homeowners across the Puget Sound, like me, trust Valentine Roofing to protect what matters most. Don't wait for the first leak. Call 206 Roofing today to get started within 3 weeks. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red van, you know your home is in good hands.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repairs, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Guys, if your energy is down, your workouts feel harder, and your drive isn't what it used to be, it may not be aging. It could be low testosterone. At Revive Health here in Seattle, the first step is simple: a free testosterone exam and consultation with an experienced medical provider. We'll review your labs, symptoms, and overall health to determine if testosterone therapy could help improve your energy, strength, and performance. And for a limited time, qualified patients can get started with a free month of TRT. Revive has helped over 120,000 men since 2011 improve energy, sleep, mood, and confidence. If something feels off, don't ignore it. Get answers and take control of your health. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivehealth.com. Revive Health. Elevate your vibe. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact Revive for full details.
Nothing worse than clutter. With Closets by Design, everything will finally have its place. 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Closet.byDesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
Want to see the defending Super Bowl champion Seahawks open the 2026 season against the Patriots September 9th?
KIRO Newsradio is giving away 4 tickets.
Holy catfish! All you have to do is open the KIRO Newsradio app and enter.
You can enter once a day from August 25th through August 31st to boost your chances.
Full details at mynorthwest.com/win. Touchdown! Seahawks! Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. More than a dozen people are still missing after flood waters roared through the Grand Canyon. One person confirmed dead. Here's ABC's Lana Moise.
Across the campground, the floodwaters triggering a large-scale rescue operation. The campers waiting nearly 3 hours before pilots airlifted more than 60 people to safety. The force of the water carrying tree stumps, debris, and part of a structure downstream. Officials say the search continues for those still unaccounted for.
In the Himalayas, more than 900 people have died in Nepal after flash flooding there. The number of people missing, well over 4,000. Oil prices over $90 a barrel for Brent crude this morning after new attacks by the U.S. on a target in the Strait of Hormuz, the first American attack on Iranian assets in a month. Rough night at the U.S. Open for a couple of former champions. Both Novak Djokovic and Venus Williams lost in the first round at the Open. This is ABC News. The Grand Ole Party is preparing for a very unconventional convention. ABC's Jim Ryan's in Dallas-Fort Worth, where Republicans from around the country will be converging next week.
It's not the first time it's happened. In 1984,
Nancy and I extend our deep thanks to the Lone Star State and the Big D
the city of Dallas. But next week's Republican convention in Dallas will not include the nomination of a presidential candidate or a debate over a platform. President Trump is said to have personally picked the date and the location as a way to fire up the GOP base going into a midterm election with extremely competitive races and control of Congress on the line. Jim Ryan, ABC News in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Authorities in Congo confirming there are more than 6,000 confirmed Ebola cases in the country now. This believed to be the fastest spreading Ebola outbreak in history. Jurors could begin deliberations today in Dwayne Davis's trial. He is charged in the murder of Tupac Shakur in Las Vegas 30 years ago. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
At 7:02, here's what's happening.
Seattle parents scrambling for childcare as a possible teacher strike gets closer. James Lynch will have the update in a moment.
Seattle mother faces arraignment today, charged after police say she fell asleep and her 1-year-old got into fentanyl. The child died August 23rd in Seattle. The 39-year-old will also face firearms charges.
Governor Ferguson has declared an emergency in Walla Walla County where the Paradise Fire is threatening the region's drinking water. That fire has burned more than 8,000 acres in the watershed, serving about 35,000 people.
And 16-year-old Redmond tennis star Kristina Lutova faces an Olympic gold medalist at the U.S. Open this morning. She is the youngest player in the draw.
It's now 7:03 and time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes. Chris Sullivan, what do you see?
Well, and USA Today said she's made $140,000 just for making the draw.
I know, isn't that great?
So not bad for a 16-year-old. Well done. Well done.
That is going to be a lot for her.
Yeah,
for sure.
But again, playing in the big deal, that's super awesome.
Huge.
Looking at the drive now, definitely a rough day out of the north end. We had a long-term crash in Northgate on southbound 5. Good news is the travel time has come back down to reality. We're back down to about an hour total from Everett to Seattle, 40 minutes from Linwood. About the same time now we have on the 405 corridor with the brake lights there through Canyon Park. So we've kind of settled back in, about 10 minutes slower probably than a typical Monday, but overall, we kind of weathered the storm. Northbound I-5, Federal Way to Seattle, back under 50 minutes, and we weathered the storm there, too. We've had 3 crashes on that northbound I-5 corridor this morning. They've all cleared, so that's great. Valley Freeway, about 48 minutes to 50, depending on how you hit it. It's hard in Auburn and at the north end, and then Renton to Bellevue is about a half an hour. Lake bridges are still good. Northbound I-5 through Tacoma's got a little braking. The northbound drive out of Lacey's getting better, back down to 40 minutes after a crash there. And we continue to work with the right lane being blocked for this fire response. Not sure what quite it is on eastbound 520 right there at the Microsoft campus. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
The morning is 7:04. Still no agreement between Seattle Public Schools and the union for about 6,000 teachers and staff.
Now a strike is set to begin if there's no deal by 11:59 tomorrow night. So we get the update live from KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
Manda educators say they're pushing for fair pay, better staffing, and more support in the classroom, especially for special education. They warn that without these improvements, 50,000 students will feel the impact. Meantime, parents are bracing for the possibility of a delayed first day of school, scrambling for childcare, and preparing backup plans. Here's parent Matt Becker on KIRO 7 News.
I'm just going to plan on staying home this week, no matter what, for sort of separate reasons. And if it goes on beyond that, well, I don't really have a contingency plan at this time, I'm sorry to say.
Some parents say they're frustrated and worried about missed learning, but many also say they support teachers' efforts to secure a stronger contract. The last strike in 2022 lasted 5 days and filled up emergency child care programs quickly, leaving thousands of students at home.
James Lynch reporting live. It's 7:05.
Well, the North Shore Education Association and North Shore School District have agreed to a new contract.
This latest contract is for 2 years and gives educators better pay and benefits, additional support for teachers and students, and invests in better working conditions. The next step in the approval process is for the North Shore School Board to vote on the contracts at its regular meeting on September 14th. Tomorrow is the first day of school for the district.
And that's KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon.
Seattle Police Department is putting an end to its cash hiring bonuses. The big financial incentives will officially stop tomorrow. Mayor Katie Wilson says the interim police chief made the call to help manage the department's budget. Detective Shane Weatherford says the move balances public safety with taxpayer money.
We will continue to hire some of the highest quality candidates in the country and are dedicated to helping keep Seattle safe,
So until now, entry-level hires qualify for $7,500 and up to $5,000 in reimbursable moving expenses if they're moving more than 50 miles. Lateral hires, those moving from another police agency, could get up to $50,000 and up to $7,500 in moving expenses.
Questions remain after bounty hunters fired non-lethal rounds while trying to stop a suspect near Seattle's Sandal Park. Witnesses tell KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman the arrest unfolded just steps from a playground.
It even has some crime experts we showed the video to scratching their heads.
When I see a rifle firing paintball pellets as a van motorhome is trying to drive away, I thought that was a bit odd.
Seattle police say those bounty hunters with Washington fugitive investigators detained a man named Titus Reams, who had 7 felony warrants under his name. Reams was booked in the Pierce County Jail for organized theft and drug possession charges that date back to 2021.
Bail set at $15,000.
King County announced on Saturday that it has purchased the Cedar River property at the center of a nearly decade-long fight over a proposed asphalt plant. Here's KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay.
The forested land along SR 169 near Maple Valley will be preserved as open space and eventually turned into a park.
It's a really nice place and certainly not a place for an asphalt plant.
Councilmember Reagan Dunn says King County paid $14 million, almost $3 million below the appraised value, with the money coming from reserve funds, not new taxes. Dunn says the asphalt plant project eventually stopped penciling out for the developer.
As soon as it became not profitable for them, we swooped in and snatched it very quickly.
He believes the land will become the crown jewel of King County's park system. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Washington and the rest of the Northwest will need a major expansion of power generation to keep up with growing demand. A new regional power plan calls for 11,000 megawatts of new capacity by 2032, including thousands of megawatts of renewable energy, battery storage, and some natural gas generation. The plan cites growing demand from data centers, electrification, and population growth.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
That'll get you going on a Monday morning, right?
Love that. Lights are not out, however, and so it's more dangerous. I don't know how that works.
I don't either.
That's Nirvana, though. This is Seattle's Morning News.
It's Monday. It's the last day of August by Cracky.
Yeah.
He's Charlie Harger. I'm Manda Factor. Boy, it's nice to have you back.
I'm glad to be back. We still have maybe a week and a half before Sam gets back to school. He starts high school. It's the 9th of September. We have friends who started last week with their kids.
My daughter goes back today.
Okay, well, she's going to have fun. A 10th grader?
Yes.
It flies, doesn't it?
Scary.
Yeah. We have a busy hour in front of us. U.S. and Iran exchanging fire for the first time in nearly a month. So where do we go now? We'll check in with the retired Lieutenant General Richard Newton.
Also, you have a commentary coming up at 7:35, which people have missed very much.
Oh, I'm sure. Have you been able to, assuage those fears?
No. The text line was blowing up. Where's Charlie's commentary?
Charlie? Well, there's one move Seattle's mayor makes every time a call gets hard. She's just made this call a third time on her own signature issue. That's coming up in the 7:35 commentary.
And Sully, what do you have for us in traffic?
Nobody missed Charlie.
Hey, I'm sitting right here.
And that's what's coming up in traffic. No, we're going to look at the drive out of the north end, which is improving. So we'll give you those travel times here in a few minutes.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
At 7:12, it's time to get a check on the weather. Nick Allard, it kind of feels like fall has arrived early.
Yeah, it might feel like that later in the week, too. I mean, right now we're looking at some partly sunny to mostly sunny conditions today, and I think you'll get to about 74 in Seattle, about 77 in, say, Tacoma, about 79 to 80 in Olympia. So it's going to still be in the upper 70s for most of the area, say low 70s around Everett, but that's kind of the extent of it. I think we're going to maybe, see slightly cooler weather tomorrow because you're going to have more clouds. I have us at about 72 and mostly cloudy. And then I think you're going to find some mid-60s for Wednesday with increasing rain later in the afternoon and evening, getting breezy to windy. I think you'll see some showers in mid-60s on Thursday and a chance for some thunderstorms. Friday, we might make it back to about 70 if we're lucky, and there might be a few showers closer to the Canadian border. But right now it looks dry through the weekend, at least mainly dry, I would say. More than likely partly cloudy, with some clouds in the morning and then afternoon sun. But you're right. I mean, our average temperature for the week is not going to be much, considering we'll have some days, a couple at least, in the mid-60s. So here we go.
I saw you doing the traffic on TV. Do you want to fill in for Sully, too?
You would have to pay me lots of Cheetos to make that happen.
Lots of Cheetos.
Great.
Lots of Cheetos.
The fire ones or no?
No, come on. I'm a traditionalist.
All right, I'll be over soon. See ya, guys.
58 in Seattle.
Time for a check on traffic now. We do that every 10 minutes, and here's Sully.
And we have settled back into kind of a typical Monday after a really rough 6 o'clock hour. The problem is a lot of people now realize that, hey, we had that crash on southbound I-5, which is gone, by the way, and so they're going to 405. And that's now worse than I-5. We've jumped up over an hour from Everett into Bellevue and about 45 of those minutes away from Linwood. And, of course,
it's a reminder that, yes, it doesn't get there very often, and only when it really has to.
$15 in that express toll lane as you work your way away from Linwood. I-5 is running under an hour now from Everett into Seattle. Looking for a new crash, according to our good friend Ken, letting us know on northbound I-405, right as you get up to about SR 900 on the right-hand side of the road. So we're looking into that. 30 minutes to get you up into Bellevue because of it. Because of that, a little spillover onto the Valley Freeway. Overall, we've got 45 minutes from end to end. Better way to Seattle's back under 50, so that's good, and we're looking really good now from Olympia to Tacoma. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
Thanks for joining us. It's 7:15. It was a month-long lull in fighting between the U.S. and Iran, but the war is back at the forefront with renewed attacks.
Yeah, let's get more details from retired Lieutenant General Richard Newton, a national security contributor for News Nation. General, good morning. What spurred this renewed fighting?
Hey, Amanda and Charlie, good to be with you again. This all began with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the Iranian regime, were actually, according to U.S. intelligence, were preparing rockets and rocket launchers off of what is a strategically located Larak Island. So U.S. Central Command took out those rocket launchers, which prevented the regime from launching these rockets, which really was going to deploy more sea mines. If you recall, a couple days or so ago, Admiral Cooper announced that all the sea mines had been removed from the Strait of Hormuz in international waters to allow for commercial shipping to now free flow between, inside the Persian Gulf and outside the Persian Gulf without sea mines. And what the regime was doing was they were going to go back at it and try to deploy these mines, and U.S. took them out.
How did you react when you heard that initial batch of mines from the Iranians? Some of them were, garbage bags. They weren't real mines.
Yeah, Charlie, it's an interesting, in terms of what's in the media and what could be reality here. But I think the fact is that I just sense that the regime itself, as I mentioned, the IRGC is just, I don't want to say they're on their last legs, but they're going to pull out all stops, both from an information warfare standpoint, trying to push back on U.S. economic warfare. We can get into that with regard to what Secretary Bessent's pursuing. But from a military standpoint, they still have some punch. And I guarantee Admiral Cooper is ready to, address that. The president's been briefed on a number of major combat operations. But nonetheless, they're still fighting for survival. And when we get to a tipping point, which I think we could, we'll see. But the regime itself still needs to be reckoned with, especially the hardliners.
When this all started 6 months ago, we were very focused on the Strait of Hormuz. That has kind of disappeared from the headlines. What's the status?
Well, Amanda, you're right. Actually, to remind our listeners, the Iranian regime really threatened the strait and, in effect, from their standpoint, closed it down. They never really took the strait, but they threatened it with their short-range ballistic missiles and their cruise missiles and their drones and with these sea mines all the way until we find ourselves here on 31 August. I think that with the U.S. Navy, the Fifth Fleet, as well as with air power in the region, in and around the strait, we're not only employing a very significant naval blockade, but we're also preventing Iran, like you saw with taking out these just a couple of rocket launchers. We've got some strong capabilities to prevent them from doing it. It's one thing to prevent them, Amanda. What we want to do now is we want to deter them from threatening the strait at all. Not only in terms of the short term, which we're going through right now, but for the foreseeable future, a permanent basis. Again, I remind our listeners, this is an international waterway. But Iran's, even when I was on active duty several years or so ago, we always thought that this would be part of their playbook, and we're seeing it play out right now.
General, if you were forced to give an answer here, and somebody asked you, is Mojtaba Khamenei, the new Ayatollah, still alive, how would you respond?
Well, okay, Charlie, you're going to force me.
I just forced a general to do something here.
Well, we've been on air together long enough, so you've got carte blanche with me. Here's my assessment. I believe that everything I'm reading in the media, and I'll just keep it at that perspective, he probably is alive, but in terms of his depth of control or leadership, in terms of the theocratic leadership that the prior Ayatollahs have sustained through the years, I don't think that's the case. I think who's really in charge, that's really the key question, Charlie. Who's in charge? I believe it's Major General von Heide, the commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, is clearly in charge along with the hardliners. I think what you're going to see play out, potentially, especially this economic pressure I think that's ensuing now. I think you're going to see what I call the pro-concession, perhaps, leadership within Iran. That would be the president, the minister of foreign affairs, perhaps the speaker of the parliament, and so forth, begin to now try to compel Iran, the nation, to perhaps get back to a negotiating table or a position where they, frankly, may end up feel forced to bend towards U.S. national security here. That's a lot in terms of a statement, but it's going to take time and effort. But I don't believe the Ayatollah really is that influential at this point. I think it's all led by General von Heide and the very, very diabolical hardline Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps.
General, correct me if I'm wrong, but you've said the media a couple times with kind of a different tone in your voice. Are we getting things wrong?
Well, since I'm now part of media, for the last 14 years, and frankly, never thought I would be in this position, but I relish it. It's I don't enjoy being in the media, but I think it's important to communicate to the American people. So from a guy like me, we're just going to call balls and strikes. I think the media right now has become as perhaps divisive, if I could use that word, much like you're seeing with domestic politics. You've got we just can't agree on anything, it seems like, and it's just so hard and fast and running. And there are very conservative media outlets that may not necessarily paint as accurate picture. There are also very liberal outlets, if I may, that aren't doing that as well. I'll have a plug for News Nation. We try to really call the balls and strikes and right down the middle, and just call it as we see it. I think that. And we saw this when I was a kid. My dad he fought combat in Korea and Vietnam, was Korea Air Force and so forth. Saw a lot of this back in my day when I was a youngster with regard to Vietnam. Fast forward to today, it just seems that you've got media outlet A lines up with a very liberal perspective or perhaps a progressive perspective. And then there's media outlet B on the right-hand side that does the same thing. And the American people, it's hard for them to cut through that chaff, Amanda. And so I think the media is very important, and I think they ought to be able to, really tell it like it is. It's just, I think there's just a political agenda in the media more so than I've seen, certainly in my reflective memory.
Always appreciate your time. National security contributor for News Nation, retired Lieutenant General Richard Newton. Thanks, Richard.
Hey, Charlie, good to be with you. And Amanda, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks. Take care. It's 7:23. That's time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes for you. And here's Chris Sullivan.
And we've settled in. It's a tough day out of the north end, but not overly so. Down to about an hour total from Everett to Seattle, or Everett to Bellevue, with 40 of those minutes away from Linwood. So kind of a typical day there. We've weathered the storm after a pretty significant crash earlier in Northgate. So you get into those breaks like you expect, and then you're out of them. Looking at northbound 405, still looking for whether or not this crash is blocking the right lane right there after the Maple Valley Highway getting up to SR 900. We've got about a 30-minute trip for you guys from Renton on up into Bellevue. And then some significant spillover from 180th on up the Valley Freeway, overall about 50 minutes from Puyallup to Renton. Olympia to Tacoma's back to a really good drive at 35 minutes, but then you hit the brake lights through Tacoma because of construction right there through the Puyallup River Bridge, and then about a 45-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle. Lake bridges are still in great shape, and we're still working with this brush fire response, blocking, it looks like 2 lanes now of eastbound 520 as you get over to the Microsoft campus out of Bellevue. Right there at about 148th is where this is. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, a mix of clouds and sun. Very pleasant today, 74. But we're going to start to cool off tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Then by Wednesday, rainy, windy conditions, a high of 66. Still some lingering showers on Thursday, only 65. Right now in Seattle, it's partly cloudy and 58.
Coming up, thousands of public employees in our state are planning a walkout today. We'll get the latest from James Lynch. And 3 times this year, Seattle's mayor has faced a hard call, and 3 times she's reached for the same tool. What it is and why housing just became the third in the 735 commentary.
Well, for years, women were told the same thing about feeling off. The low energy, the mood swings, the weight gain. You know what I'm talking about. Well, I recently had a chat with board-certified physician Dr. Lucy Hostetter from Juvacor Health and Wellness Center. She told me the change happened to her, too. Every physician she went to said, you just have to live with it. Well, she found that unacceptable. So she started doing research. It led her down the path of hormones. And today, Dr. Hostetter and her team at Juvacor Health and Wellness Center use bioidentical hormone therapy customized to your body to bring back the you that's been missing. She says nobody has to jump full bore into hormones. They can take a stepwise approach. She's looking at your individual labs, your individual goals, and you can take it as slow or as fast as you want. Don't wait. Give them a call. Juvacor Health and Wellness Center in Tacoma, or their original location, Seattle Regenerative Medicine Center in Bellevue. Check out juvacorhealth.com. That's JUVECorehealth.com, and feel like yourself again.
30 years ago,
I wanted to be part of keeping the Seahawks in Seattle long term.
3 decades later,
12, they're bringing the trophy home.
2 Super Bowl championship banners hang in the stadium Paul Allen built. Now, a new era of stewardship begins.
Most things that seem impossible become possible.
And we welcome the Khosla family to Seattle. From the home of the Seahawks since the very beginning, KIRO News Radio.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we know the key to a long-lasting roof is yearly maintenance. Need an inspection, repair, restoration, moss removal, or just a cleanup? You can trust Guardian's licensed, insured, and expertly trained team. We offer free estimates, second opinions, and financing, giving you the peace of mind your home deserves. Call today. Our first-time customers can save $99 on our award-winning roof repair and cleaning service. Visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Hey, how is your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Summer is for going big.
Julio! Dead center field, solo home run, 4-0 Mariners.
Summer is for showing out.
Crawford, out of the glove, Emerson to first. What a play!
Summer is for Mariners baseball.
Cal Raleigh with an RBI double. The big thumper comes through in the clutch.
Where else do you get 9 innings of eye-popping swings and snags? Plus fireworks that make your feet dance and your jaw drop. Oh yeah, and the guys have a dance of their own, a wind dance.
Party time at T-Mobile Park in the sunshine.
Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
Don't miss out on Mariners fireworks nights at T-Mobile Park. Next up is the sing-along show this Friday, presented by T-Mobile, after the Mariners take on the A's at 7:10. Go to mariners.com to get your tickets and check out all the biggest events down the stretch, like the Andres Munoz Funko Pop giveaway September 8th through the 10th.
Hartley here from Wilcox Family Farms. You've heard the saying, you are what you eat. Eggs are an incredible source of protein and omega-3s. But have you thought about what the hens eat to make healthier eggs? At Wilcox Farms, our hens enjoy organic pastures and a diet of organic grains and flaxseed, creating vibrant yolks, richer flavor, and real nutrition for your family. Next time you're at the store, choose Wilcox Eggs. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 31st, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years for new Xfinity customers. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Nothing worse than clutter. With Closets by Design, everything will finally have its place. 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. ClosetsByDesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:30. State workers across Washington are planning a coordinated walkout with Washington today to protest what they call not a dime authorized for their 2027 to 29 contracts.
James Lynch is following the story and joins us live.
The Washington Federation of State Employees says more than 50,000 members are expected to use their scheduled breaks, lunch periods, and vacation time to rally outside job sites, demanding higher pay, safer staffing, and an end to economic policies aimed at reducing budget deficits by cutting public spending and/or raising taxes. Organized by the Washington Federation of State Employees, the Walkout with Washington aims to pressure Governor Ferguson and leaders in higher education to invest in public workers and protect critical services for families. Walkouts are expected at more than 100 locations all over Western Washington, including at the University of Washington, Washington Department of Transportation offices, the state capitol, and in cities from Bellingham to Vancouver.
James Lynch reporting live at 7:32.
Parents across Seattle are making backup plans as a possible teacher strike threatens to delay the first day of school.
During the last strike, Seattle offered drop-in centers, but the programs filled up quickly, leaving thousands of families out. Still, parents we spoke to seemed sympathetic.
Yeah, I support what the teachers are going for. Everyone wants to get fair pay and all that fun stuff. Yeah, that makes sense to me. We got to take care of those folks. They're teaching our kids.
Definitely impactful in terms of, where childcare and the cost of that and trying to scramble with work and everything. But we got to take care of our teachers, too.
Even as students wait to see their classmates again.
That's KIRO 7 TV's Heather Bosch.
As Redmond High School students return to class today, they'll be leaving their phones and other personal devices behind. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin.
All personal devices will need to be silenced and stored in a designated location during class hours. Those include phones, smartwatches, earbuds, or headphones that are connected to personal devices, laptops and tablets, and wearable technology such as smart glasses. The new policy says students can use their own devices during non-instructional times, such as lunch or maybe between classes or before school.
Tacoma is about to lose another Fred Meyer. The News Tribune reports the company's closing its James Center store on South 19th Street in West Tacoma. The Grocery Workers Union says Kroger won't renew the lease, blaming higher rental costs. It's the second Tacoma Fred Meyer to close in about a year. The union warns the closure could create a food desert in West Tacoma and says about 100 workers are affected.
It's 7:33 now. We check traffic on the 3s with Sully.
And we are working with a disabled vehicle blocking the right lane of northbound 405, right around the little corridor right there between the Maple Valley Highway and Sunset. And so it's a good thing we're a little lighter than normal because that one could be really impactful. Right now, we're looking at 35 minutes from Renton to Bellevue. What this is really doing is putting a lot of pressure on northbound 167, trying to tie into 405 northbound. So give yourself about 50 minutes from Puyallup to Renton. Tacoma is still struggling a little bit through the dome to the Puyallup River Bridge because of the early forced merge there with the right lane blocked for construction. And then you have Federal Way to Seattle of about 50 minutes, maybe a little under. It's actually not terrible there today. And we've settled into about an hour from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, kind of a typical day for you guys. Lake bridges are still fine. And for those of you heading into Redmond or heading to the Microsoft campus on eastbound 520, we continue to have two right lanes blocked for what appeared to be a brush fire response. Either way, they're still there. It's been going on for about an hour now. Not a huge action in that direction, though. This report brought to you by me, KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Mix of clouds and sun for today, 74 our high. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, 72. Wednesday looks interesting. Rainy, windy, very fall-like, 66 on Wednesday, only 65 Thursday with some lingering showers. Right now in Seattle, partly cloudy and 58.
Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
Time for the 7:35 commentary. About 46,000 Seattle renter households spend more than half their income on housing. Half. Rent gets paid, groceries get squeezed. The down payment account receives whatever survives. I know young people who work, save, and do everything we told them responsible adults do, and the dream of buying a house keeps moving farther away anyway. And at the same time, the people who actually build housing are drowning in paperwork and bureaucracy. They've done the math. Fine, they say. No houses, I'll build commercial instead. Mayor Katie Wilson knows all this. She ran on it. Housing affordability was one of her signature issues. They say 112,000 more homes are needed in Seattle city limits by 2044. But annual housing units in permit applications are down roughly 60% from where they were 6 years ago. A 60% collapse in the pipeline, identified by the mayor, 112,000 new homes in the next 18 years. That just seems impossible. So Wilson's response? A task force. Final recommendations due in September. No, not next month. September of 2027, 13 months from now. And that's the third time this year Seattle has watched Mayor Wilson make this move. Clear information after the Bite of Seattle shooting? Still waiting. A decision on the Stadium District security cameras. More review. Now her signature issue, the one she ran on, the one she styled herself an expert on, goes into a room for the next 13 months. The pattern is a story. Seattle elected a mayor who says she knows the material cold, yet she can't bring herself to make a call on it. After the Housing Task Force reports next year, then come recommendations, legislation, hearings, implementation, permits, financing, and construction. At this rate, a 28-year-old renter could qualify for senior housing before the ribbon cutting. And what exactly is there left to study? Most of the collapse is beyond the mayor's reach. Interest rates roughly doubled the cost of borrowing. Materials cost more. Labor costs more. But you got to stack Seattle's own contributions on top. Affordability fees on new construction, permit timelines that stretch months longer than neighboring cities, parking mandates, hearings, appeals. Interest rates were near zero at one point, so projects could absorb Seattle's red tape and still make money. But rates went up. The cushion vanished, and it just doesn't make financial sense to build homes here for many of the builders. The mayor doesn't need a study to tell her what the study will say. Her own executive order already says it. Supply lowers costs, and the city's own requirements are a significant barrier. So why the task force? Seattle Times reported her administration had been considering a steep temporary cut in affordable housing fees so it would be easier for developers to do new construction. Then nonprofit affordable housing developers, they objected. They had a perfectly understandable reason, too, because they rely on the money from those fees. Which brings us to the part of governing that can't be solved by gathering more information. Two groups want different things. Both have a case. No task force is going to discover a magical third option where developers pay less and nonprofits somehow receive more. Eventually, somebody, the mayor in this case, has to choose. Instead, Wilson chose more conversation. So run the tape one more time. A shooting at the Bite of Seattle, and Inspector General will spend months determining why the public was left in the dark. Security cameras sitting dark while another review decides their future. A housing crisis the mayor herself calls an emergency, handed to a task force whose recommendations arrive more than a year from now. These aren't identical decisions, but the governing instinct is identical. When the easy part is identifying the problem and the hard part is choosing between competing interests, Katie Wilson reaches for more process. Seattle has plenty of process. What it needs from the mayor is a decision. And that's the 735 commentary. Text your thoughts to the Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line, 888-973-5476. Join the chat on our YouTube Live at KIRO News Radio. You can always leave a comment at mynorthwest.com.
It's 7:39 coming up. He has spent 50 years in commercial aviation. Now Scott Hamilton is telling all there is to tell about Boeing. He joins us next on Seattle's Morning News.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
Is your car's AC blowing warm air? Well, don't sweat it. Bucky's Complete Auto Care is here to help. Right now, you have saved $50 on any AC service, whether it's a weekend getaway or a daily commute. You deserve comfortable, cool ride. For over 50 years, local drivers have trusted Bucky's for honest pricing, expert repairs, guaranteed work, earning them the Carfax preferred status. 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed. Easy financing, and for $50 off your cooling system service, visit Bucky's.com.
Guys, if you have low energy or reduced drive, it could be low testosterone. At Revive Health here in Seattle, start with a free testosterone exam and consultation with an experienced medical provider. And for a limited time, qualified patients can get started with a free month of TRT. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivehealth.com.
This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Our summertime savings event means zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for up to 24 months, backed by our unbeatable warranties. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Welcome to IKEA!
What's with the wind?
Everyone's just been blown away by all the new products.
Wow, is that?
Yep, the Raskog card in a new red-brown color.
The price is amazing! And is that the Billy bookcase?
A classic, and it comes in a new beautiful blue.
Is my hair okay?
Explore hundreds of new products this season when you shop in-store or online at ikea.us/discover new. IKEA, dream the possibilities.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. If you have a new roof on your to-do list, don't wait until the weather changes and risk another wet fall and winter. Call Valentine Roofing now. With Valentine's priority scheduling, your roofing project can get started in as little as 3 weeks. Plus, with approved financing, there's no money down and you don't pay until your roof is complete. So don't wait for the first leak. Call 206 Roofing today to get started within 3 weeks. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
7:43 now. We check traffic on the 3s with Sully.
And some positive news for those of you that were kind of caught up in this. There weren't a lot of you, but it was eastbound 520 as you make your way into Bellevue, right at 148. For about an hour, we've had a couple of lanes blocked for what looked to be a small brush fire response. All the lanes have reopened there, and there's no more bother for those of you trying to get from 405 over to the Microsoft campus or on up into Redmond. So that one we can put to bed. The lake bridges themselves look fine. Eastbound 90 is a little slow right as you approach 405. 405 itself, we still looks like we've cleared the stall northbound there right between the Maple Valley Highway and SR 900. Still have 35 minutes to make the drive up to Bellevue. Behind that on the Valley Freeway, we're looking at 50 minutes from end to end, about 50 as well from Federal Way to Seattle. It's really not terrible through South Center. And then it's really by the north end of Boeing Field is really where we have the heaviest drive. Hour and 10-minute trip from Everett into Bellevue with 50 of those minutes away from Linwood. A 10-minute faster trip on I-5. We've got about an hour total. And for those of you coming up from the Edmonds Ferry trying to get over to I-5, we have a crash on eastbound 104 just east of 99, but before you get to the Nile Golf Course, right there in that kind of cattywampus intersection. You know the one. Seems like everybody's going everywhere anyway. That's right where this crash is.
That's such a great word.
Cattywampus?
Cattywampus.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it describes that intersection pretty well. There's a lot going on there if you're not familiar. Not a huge backup behind it. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, mix of clouds and sun. Really a nice day, 74 today. 55 the overnight low. Tomorrow looks mostly cloudy and 72. Wednesday, an active weather day. Rainy, windy, 66. Thursday, only 65 with some lingering showers. Right now in Seattle, partly cloudy and 59.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Thanks for joining us this Monday morning. Charlie Harger and Manda Factor with you. Boeing built this region, and many say somebody broke it.
Aviation journalist Scott Hamilton has covered the company for 50 years. He's been sued, stonewalled, and taken the FAA to federal court.
And now he's naming names in a new book. It's called 50 Years in Commercial Aviation, Memories and Inside Stories. Scott, great to have you back on Seattle's Morning News. Is Boeing broken, and if so, who broke it?
Well, I would say it's on the mend. It's not completely fixed yet. It took about 30 years for it to get into the predicament that really emerged on that March 10th, 2019 crash of the 737 MAX. Who broke it? It really is a broad-based answer to that. is not just the CEOs, Jim McNerney, Harry Stonecipher, David Calhoun. It also is the board of directors, because after all, they have the ultimate authority of the company.
What is a Boeing story, Scott, that you can tell now that you haven't before?
Well, gosh, there are inside stories that kind of equate to inside baseball type of things that I didn't cover in my first two books about Airbus and Boeing, and that is just really what the corporate culture has been about Boeing. There's been a lot written about the safety culture and that sort of thing, but how the corporate officers dealt with critics, not only in the press but also in the aerospace analyst community, and it really was just a sad tale to see Boeing descend into that type of pettiness.
Scott, we have, of course, spoken with you for years. You have really great objective journalism. You get to the inside of Boeing stories. I'm just curious here because we hear that in your book, companies try to silence you. How does an aviation company, an aerospace company, try to silence someone like Scott Hamilton?
They freeze you out. They either ignore your inquiries, or they disinvite you, or don't even extend invitations to press events. And this is true not just of myself, but it's true of other reporters. It was true of aerospace analysts who would be frozen off of the earnings calls, and Boeing would not make officers available to them for their events. They would not make officers available to journalists for interviews. It was a very, and in some cases, they actually actively tried to discredit me and other reporters to other people. It was a real intense campaign at times.
Scott, this is Chris Sullivan. We've talked a lot over the years. Boeing was my beat for probably 15 here. When you look at, I guess, not to focus totally on the negative, but of the gaffes that you go over when you look at them, I mean, from rolling out an empty Dreamliner that, like, hey, check out this empty shell, to the crashes, to the safety, to the bean counting change in the way things went, all the way back to the merger. Where do you kind of rank some of these things that you just, when they happened, you just kind of shook your head?
Oh gosh, over 30 years, there are just so many errors, if you want to call it that it's hard to rank them. I got criticized a lot from inside Boeing as being anti-Boeing and being pro-Airbus. And as I write, when you have 30 years of screw-ups, and I'm a little bit more graphic than that word, it's hard to be Mr. Sunshine about Boeing. They, after the merger in 1997 with McDonnell Douglas, Boeing really began to emphasize shareholder value, although that actually began the year before the merger under Phil Condit and not under Harry Stonecipher. And the innovation at Boeing seemed to stall, and that opened a door for Airbus to begin to overtake Boeing by 2004.
You say Boeing is on the mend. What does that mean? What does it take to get back to its original glory?
The working its way out of the groundings of the MAX and other safety issues and the production flaws that emerged with the 787, the FAA oversight. The FAA still is providing oversight, and they still have to approve increases in the production rates for the 737 in particular. But the FAA has given Boeing back what's called ticketing authority to allow Boeing's own employees to certify the airplanes as airworthy before delivery. The FAA for many years took over that authority. You're seeing the production rates coming back up. You're seeing the North Line opened for the 737 up at the Everett plant. We hope that the current contract negotiations with the Engineers and Technicians Union, called SPIA, will actually come to an early and successful conclusion. We know that on August 21st, the members rejected the contracts. Boeing and the SPIA union are meeting again today, and let's hope that that will resolve without a strike.
We're speaking with aviation expert Scott Hamilton. Scott, we sometimes too much focus on the negative. What are some good things happening with the Boeing workers right now? As those men and women are busting their tails every day.
The quality of the product coming off of the assembly lines, not just here in Renton and Everett, but also in Charleston, has been reported as having market improvements from the customers, the airlines and the leasing companies. That's a huge improvement compared with the depths of the crisis back in 2019 and the years thereafter. So that's a huge improvement. The IAM workers who did go on strike in 2024 for 53 days finally got a good lucrative contract that at least makes them reasonably happy. That's good. Getting that ticketing authority back, that's good. And CEO Kelly Ortberg really, I think, is trying to improve not just the safety and quality control cultures, but also just employee relations with the labor unions.
We're just about out of time, but not many people can say they took the FAA to federal court. So what's the story there?
Well, that's when I had a company called Commercial Aviation Report, and I was reading FAA filings that had a lot of sensitive financial information about how airplanes were financed and what the lease rates were, and published in Commercial Aviation Report. And over time, the airlines began tumbling to where I was getting my information and started redacting it. So I filed an objection with the Federal Aviation Administration about withholding the information, thinking I'd basically get a letter back that said, okay, thanks for your comments and go to hell. What they did was they published a formal comment period in the Federal Register, and what I thought was just going to be a quick response turned out to be an industry-wide, many months issue that, of course, I lost, which I expected. But, yeah, I took on the FAA, and that was an unexpected fight.
First of all, David, I think we have a new soundbite to play every so often. Thanks for your comments. But we also want to thank you, Scott Hamilton. It's been great speaking with you over the years. I hope we can continue speaking with you. Your new book, 50 Years in Commercial Aviation, Memories and Inside Stories.
Thank you so much. Aviation journalist Scott Hamilton. Time to get a check on traffic. Now, we do that every 10 minutes for you. It's your turn, Chris Sullivan.
And we now have a new crash to tell you about in the Renton area, but this one's going southbound 405 at 30th. We have the right lane blocked. A couple of different cars caught up into this, including a flatbed. So I plan on about a 10-minute delay getting out of Bellevue down into Renton. Going the other direction, 35 minutes for you guys. Northbound I-5 has got about a 50-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle. We're also seeing some eastbound slowing on the West Seattle Bridge. Nothing out of line other than volume, but I'm checking. Looking at the Valley Freeway, about 50 minutes from end to end. Most of Pierce County's okay. The lake bridges are fine coming down from the north end. About an hour and 10 minutes now from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. So we've gone a little elevated there out of the north end. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app and stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
Partly sunny this afternoon, a high of 74, 72 tomorrow with clouds, rainy and windy Wednesday, high of 66. Right now in Seattle, it's 58.
Glad to have you with us on this last day of August. Coming up, KIRO News Radio's James Lynch reports on the contract talks between Seattle Public Schools and the Teachers Union. No deal yet.
And you'll want to stay tuned here to KIRO News Radio. Coming up at 9 o'clock, G and Ursula will be speaking with Sean Barnes, a former Seattle police chief who was forced to resign by Mayor Katie Wilson.
Also at 8:15, Crime and Punishment, our weekly check-in with Casey McNerthney at the King County Prosecutor's Office.
This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo.
Your best source for local news.
Newly released police video shows the arrest of a 17-year-old.
KIRO News Radio.
As kids go back to school, AAA Washington reminds you to zone in and slow down when driving in school zones. In recent studies, 71% of drivers were observed speeding through school zones, and 31% admitted to using their phone while driving through school zones. Please keep your eyes off your phone, pay attention to your speed, and focus on students, signage, and AAA school safety patrollers. If we all zone in and slow down, everyone can get to and from school safely.
At Carrier, we know that a comfortable home is a happy one. Whether it's with innovative breakthroughs in heating and cooling efficiency, or with different ways to control your home's temperature and air quality, we are always imagining new ways to make your home totally comfortable.
Turn to the experts and let your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer improve your home's comfort and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find an expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
You've worked hard, saved diligently, and now retirement is on the horizon. But will your nest egg go the distance? With rising cost and uncertain markets, there's no time for oversimplified plans. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Nearly 1 in 4 people killed on the road in Washington weren't driving. Pedestrians on our roads are incredibly vulnerable, whether they're facing drunk, drugged, drowsy, or distracted drivers. Pedestrians are defenseless on our streets. That's why Davis Law Group fights for pedestrian accident victims and their loved ones after a crash. Davis Law Group delivers. So if you or a loved one have been injured, call Davis Law Group today at 206-888-8888 or visit davislawgroupseattle.com.
Did you see what Olympia is calling their latest new tax?
The millionaire's tax? Yep.
You know, it's really an income tax.
So what's the difference?
A millionaire's tax doesn't sound like it applies to you, but it does. Olympia created the income tax and refused to limit it. They left the door open to tax everyone, including you.
So what do we do?
Vote yes on Initiative 645. It repeals the income tax completely, so Olympia can't expand it and get into your paycheck.
Wait, we're repealing an income tax?
Yes, we're repealing an income tax.
And we vote yes to repeal it?
Yes. Vote yes to repeal the income tax.
Okay. Vote yes to repeal the income tax.
Well, see, they picked that name on purpose. Tell your friends vote yes on Initiative 645. Let's repeal the income tax. Visit voteyes645.com for more information. Paid for by Vote Yes, Repeal the Income Tax. Top 5 contributors, BIAW Member Services Corp., Peter and Liz Moorkill, Catalan Solutions, Inc., Steve Gordon.
Every jersey tells a story.
So many people dressed in Seahawk blue.
From unforgettable touchdowns.
Touchdown, Seahawks! Jackson Smith-Njigba, Johnny on the spot.
To game-changing hits.
He gets hit again. Leonard Williams drags him down.
To memorable catches.
Zorn drops back to pass in the end zone to Larkin. Touchdown Seahawks!
History lives in every throw. Shop official Seahawks jerseys in-store at Lumen Field, The Landing in Renton, or online at Seahawks.com/ProShop.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we make protecting your home simple and affordable. With flexible financing and 20-plus years of trusted service, you can count on lasting quality from Guardian. Visit GuardianRoofing.com today.
During the Subaru A Lot to Love event through August 31st, enjoy great financing on select new cars at Subaru of Puyallup. Visit SubaruofPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership.
Advanced Hair Restoration, the simple one-day hair loss solution that's guaranteed to regrow your own natural hair. AdvancedHair.com. AdvancedHair.com.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The prediction market Kalshi has just announced for the first time it's got a lifetime ban, and it will be against disgraced former Congressman George Santos. He previously settled a regulatory investigation into his trades on the State of the Union with a hefty fine. He got a temporary ban then from using prediction markets. Now the ban is permanent on Kalshi. Still no sign of the 14 campers missing since flash flooding in the Grand Canyon over the weekend. We do know one person was killed and dozens were rescued. ABC's Lina Moise.
Across the campground, the floodwaters triggering a large-scale rescue operation.
The campers waiting nearly 3 hours before pilots airlifted more than 60 people to safety. The force of the water carrying tree stumps, debris, and part of a structure downstream. Officials say the search continues for those still unaccounted for. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
The death toll in Nepal, now more than 900. The number still missing from flash flooding there, more than 4,000. This is ABC News. Health officials in North Carolina are warning anyone who might have visited one of the 10 traveling petting zoos over the weekend to contact their doctors. It seems a skunk got into the baby goat pen at the main facility, and now baby goats may have rabies.
Rabies can be fatal. The animals are from Farm Adventures Petting Zoo. The owner says she had no idea they were infected, and she believes a rabid skunk entered their enclosure and infected them. Now, doctors do say symptoms can begin weeks or even months after exposure, but it's extremely rare to see rabies in humans in the U.S. The last time rabies was confirmed in a person in North Carolina was actually 15 years ago.
That's ABC's Faith Abube. The baby goats had to be put down. Dolly Parton laid to rest over the weekend alongside her late husband Carl Dean in Nashville. Her great niece Lainey Parton sang on social media, "Most people can think of at least one bad memory with everyone in their family, but honestly, I can't think of one with her." Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Good morning at 8:02. Here's what's happening.
Well, the clock is ticking for Seattle Public Schools and the Teachers Union to reach a new contract. We'll get the update from James Lynch in a moment.
The Paradise Fire in Walla Walla County has prompted an emergency declaration from the governor. State leaders warn ash and debris could contaminate drinking water for about 35,000 residents.
Fred Meyer's closing its James Center store in Tacoma, the second Tacoma location to shut down in about a year. The Grocery Workers Union blames rising rent.
And a 12,000 square foot Spanish-style mansion in Gig Harbor is on the market for only $8.9 million. It was even used as a film set for a 2018 crime thriller.
It's 8:03. That's time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And for a Monday, we're doing okay in most places, others not so much. We've added about 10 minutes to our drive total from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. It's a heavy day, hour and 20 total for either one of those drives, an hour alone from Linwood. So for a Monday, that's about 15 minutes slower than you might have expected. So we have a few more people heading to places today, so plan on some delays there. This crash we have on southbound 405 right at 30th going down into Renton continues to cause a backup that goes all the way to the Coal Creek Parkway area. Added about 10 minutes on that trip, 25 minutes plus to go from Bellevue to Renton. Again, that's counter commute. Renton to Bellevue going the other direction. We got about 40 minutes, kind of an average day. Lake bridges are still fine. Valley Freeway's about 50 as well from Federal Way to Seattle. So it's not as bad at the north end as it could be. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
8:04 on the Monday, August 31st, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
Negotiations over the weekend between Seattle Public Schools and the Teachers Union ended without an agreement, and now a strike looms.
James Lynch joins us live with the latest.
Guys, KIRO 7 reports Seattle Public Schools and the union representing 6,000 teachers and staff have until midnight Tuesday to reach a new contract agreement. If they don't, members of the Seattle Education Association says they will strike on Wednesday, the planned first day of school. That would delay the start of the school year for about 50,000 students across more than 100 school campuses, leaving many families scrambling for childcare and other alternatives to care for their children if school doesn't start on time. Still, support for teachers is strong. Here's what one parent told KIRO 7 TV.
I support what the teachers are going for. Everyone wants to get fair pay and all that fun stuff. Yeah, that makes sense to me. You know, we got to take care of those folks. They're teaching our kids.
Major sticking points continue to be special education support, wages, class and caseload sizes, increasing additional tasks, and little time to plan. SEA members are reporting to school buildings this morning and tomorrow for prep days in hopes the classes will start on time.
James Lynch reporting live. It's 8:05.
Students in the North Shore School District are set to start school on time after teachers there approved a new contract. The North Shore Education Association says certificated educators ratified the 2-year deal with nearly 84% support, while education support professionals approved their agreement with almost 77% voting yes. District and union leaders say the contracts include stronger pay, benefits, and support for students and staff. Tomorrow is the first day of school for that district.
And this comes as parents snapping those first day of school photos are being urged to think twice before posting them online. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas.
The Redmond Police Department says even with tight privacy settings, it's wise to limit the information you're sharing. Do not post your child's school name or logo, age or birthday, teacher's name or grade level, identifying features like height and weight, or personal details that could relate to passwords or security questions. If your child's sign, backpack, or clothes have any of that sensitive info, blur it or cover it up before posting.
With the Seattle Police Department still understaffed, Interim Chief Andre Sales has decided to pause hiring incentives for new officers and those who move to Seattle from other departments. The bonus payments will end September 1st to help manage SPD's budget after stronger than expected hiring and fewer officer departures this year. Here's SPD Detective Shane Weatherford.
We have a responsibility to the people of Seattle to provide the best police service while also being fiscally responsible.
The department says it remains focused on bringing in qualified recruits and getting new officers through training and on patrol more quickly. Ironically, probably not a coincidence, the Bellevue Police Department posted on its X account Friday that incentives up to $30,000 are still being offered for some officers.
A social media trend called deflocking has hit the city of Covington. Police say all 8 of the city's flock safety license plate readers have been vandalized. Teenagers were arrested in one case. Chief Adam Easterbrook says misinformation fueled the attacks.
That particular post that they were looking at was telling them that it was a mass surveillance program and that they should be fearful of it, and they didn't get to vote on it.
The cameras have drawn scrutiny nationwide. Some cities have turned them off over concerns they violate privacy rights. Still, Easterbrook says anyone caught destroying them could face felony charges.
Multiple fires are burning near Snoqualmie Pass as we hear from KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas.
The Three Queens, King, and Goat fires, which have grown to more than 11,000 acres combined. The Three Queens, that's the largest, more than 8,500 acres, only 5% contained. The other two at 0% containment.
A 16-year-old tennis star from Redmond has already earned $140,000 at the U.S. Open, and she hasn't even played a main draw match yet. While training for the qualifying rounds earlier this month, Kristina Lutova told KIRO News Radio she wants to take care of her mom.
I want to make sure that she's happy and in the future she has easy life, kind of, a house, a cat, and just watch my matches with no worries and no pressure.
She is the youngest player in the tournament, the first born in the 2010s to reach a Grand Slam main draw. She plays this morning at 8 o'clock. You can read more about her at mynorthwest.com.
Isn't that great? I'm so glad our news director, Frank, is a tennis fan because I wouldn't know about this otherwise. Yeah. Future pilots, air traffic controllers, and airport managers may soon be coming out of the Tumwater area. The Olympian reports the Newmark Skills Center has teamed up with Thurston County Schools to offer high school students a chance to learn about the aviation industry. It's a half day of classes. This year's enrollment is already full with 48 students taking part. One of the teachers will be a former Air Force pilot who operated out of JBLM. It's a 2-year program. Participants will earn 60 college credits or 1/3 of an aeronautics degree.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Oh, it's your song, Manda, South Sound Girls.
Oh, it's not. It's West End Girls. You know, it's funny, this Nick picked the song. My daughter asked me the other day, she's like, hey, do you like this song?
Yeah.
She's in this phase right now where she's listening to everything I listened to in the 80s, and she loves it. It's very weird.
This is a great phase, and maybe it'll stick.
I hope so.
I never left it.
Yeah, we know this, Sully. And you don't like anything else.
No, not at all. Why? You can't improve on imperfection, right?
This is Seattle's Morning News. Thanks for being here on this Monday. If you are a close listener to the show, you know, it's a little tweaking for the clock. We got a couple questions about this. We're trying to get more people to be able to listen for longer at the end of the show. So we have a little extra time for interview segments then.
Exactly. Glad to have you with us on this last day of August. Coming up, a close look at how King County prosecutors are dealing with juvenile gun crimes. Spokesperson Casey McNerthney breaks it down in Crime and Punishment.
And we also talk with Patrick DeHaan, the head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy. What does this new oil deal in Venezuela mean for gas prices? We'll talk to him about that coming up.
And Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we got some positive news. Those of you stuck in this backup getting out of Bellevue, heading southbound, the crash into Renton has cleared. So we'll talk about that in a couple minutes.
30 years ago,
I wanted to be part of keeping the Seahawks in Seattle long term.
3 decades later,
12, they're bringing the trophy home.
2 Super Bowl championship banners hang in the stadium Paul Allen built. Now, a new era of stewardship begins.
Most things that seem impossible become possible.
And we welcome the Kosla family to Seattle. From the home of the Seahawks since the very beginning, KIRO Newsradio.
A lot of businesses are gearing up for a busy summer, and that means choosing a bank with the accounts, tools, and services you need to be successful. The right bank can make a big difference, right, Brad?
It sure can, Dave. And WaFd Bank can help with business checking, loans, credit cards, and so much more. WaFd Bank is also an SBA preferred lender of choice, so you can grow with confidence.
Yeah, but what about when you need help with something? Is there a real person who's available and who knows how to help?
Absolutely. Our friendly and knowledgeable local bankers are ready and waiting to help you with whatever your business might need. From day one, our bankers get to know you and your business to build a strong foundation for future success. This especially helps when it's time to apply for loans and to spot gaps in your business operations, so we can recommend the services that would be most helpful.
Which is exactly why we say WaFd has you covered. To learn more, visit wafdbank.com or stop by your local branch. Discover why they were awarded Best Bank 3 years in a row. WaFd Bank, built for business. Member FDIC, loans subject to credit approval.
And Doug.
Oh, what a horrible call. Hey, ref, open your eyes. Ref, you're really not going to call that? Come on.
Hey, ref, why don't you customize your car insurance with Liberty Mutual and save money?
I don't think you get what we're doing.
Sure I do. We're all just giving him advice. You guys on sports, me on saving money.
Nope, that's not it.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Are you looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, ranging from the low 500s to the high 1 millions, D.R. Horton has the right home at the best value for you. Your new home is within reach, so what are you waiting for? Learn more about the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. Visit drhorton.com and schedule a tour today. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Time to check the weather forecast. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Nick Allard.
Say partly cloudy to mostly sunny today. Looks like a really nice day with temperatures getting into the mid-70s in Seattle, upper 70s, lower 80s for the South Sound, low to mid-70s for the rest of the area, although Port Angeles today in the mid-60s. Then expect to find some mostly cloudy conditions tomorrow in the low 70s. I think on Wednesday we're going to see more clouds, and eventually we'll see some pockets of rain increasing for late the afternoon and evening, and that's going to be on the windy side as well, with some scattered showers and sunbreaks Thursday, even some isolated thunderstorms. Friday would be drier, and then into the weekend right now, looks like we'd see some low 70s and be drier, but it is definitely a different week compared to what we have been seeing.
Right now in Seattle is partly sunny and 60.
And it's time for a check on traffic once again every 10 minutes on the threes. Chris Sullivan, what's happening?
Well, we're going to take some time to clear out this mess on southbound 405 because of the braking from about I-90 down past Coal Creek Parkway approaching 30th. We had an earlier crash there involving a couple of different cars, and the cars are still there, but the right lane has reopened. So by the time you get to about the VMAC, it starts breaking free. Travel time hasn't, though. We're still running right around a half an hour to go from Bellevue down into Renton, and it's all just right there, annoyingly, through Factoria. Going the other direction, about 35 to 40, and then behind that, the Valley Freeway's under 50, so we're getting there, and most of Pierce County is cleared out. Federal Way to Seattle, about 50 minutes as well, and we're still rolling at about an hour and 15 to an hour and 20 from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, with an hour of that from Linwood. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Prosecutors are trying to give the public a clearer look at what happens after criminal cases reach their office. They've released new numbers on juvenile cases, including how often cases are diverted instead of prosecuted through the traditional court system. Casey McNerthy is with the King County Prosecutor's Office and joins us for our Crime and Punishment segment. Casey, the numbers here show 86 of 114 juvenile cases in July were diverted or otherwise kept out of traditional prosecution. You say that number needs context. So why shouldn't we look at a number of 86 out of 114, not be concerned?
Well, I think that when everybody hears juvenile crime, they think of the stories that they hear in the news, shootings or robberies or carjackings or really serious crimes. But when you hear the context, which is only one of those was a felony case and it was nonviolent, and the overwhelming majority of those diverted cases were mandatory diversions under state law, it's a very different picture. Because
what does that mean, mandatory diversion?
So there are many misdemeanors that state lawmakers have said, hey, you've got to divert these. That are nonviolent crimes, lower level crimes that state lawmakers have told prosecutors across the state, hey, you can't send that to the courts. It's got to go through a diversion program so the kid can change his behavior or have an opportunity to. When you hear just the number, it's like, wow, you diverted that many cases. What people understandably think is you diverted that many gun cases or robberies or carjackings, and that's absolutely not the case.
Okay, so this isn't, I'm assuming, inclusive of the Bite of Seattle shooting?
No. A case like that would never go to diversion because if you use a gun, that's got to go to a courtroom. If you carjack somebody, if you have an armed robbery, if any of those Class A felonies wouldn't go to diversion. What we're talking about here are almost exclusively, except for one, misdemeanor cases, and largely ones where state lawmakers say, hey, this is what you've got to do.
And this is throughout the whole of King County, not just Seattle specifically?
Right, yeah.
So what does diversion look like? What happens there?
There's 4 different routes that it could go. There's court diversion. There's FERS, which is a intervention for family violence, for domestic violence cases, especially in cases where there's got to be an arrest. There's the mandatory arrest in Seattle and other areas. There's the Safe Start track, which is another program where there's mentorship for kids, again, mostly in misdemeanor cases. And also RCP, Restorative Community Pathways, which has gotten a lot of attention, but what also King County prosecutors have said, hey, we're not going to send felony cases there.
How much of this aligns with just the overall drop in violent crime we've been talking about?
Probably part of it. It's hard to say exactly what has led to the drop in violent crime, and we would certainly like to take credit, but I don't think that's fair to say it's exclusively prosecutors. It's a combination of things. It's both police referring cases and prosecutors charging them. It's also the community stepping up and doing their part, and some of these mentorship programs actually working. But it's a combination of all of those, and probably the changing environment too, because as we saw things changing through COVID, things get back to a bit of a norm too.
So Casey, in this one juvenile case that is being prosecuted here, tell us about this.
So this, I think, might drive you nuts because I know how much these cases make you want to pull your hair out. But the one felony case that was diverted, that was a juvenile case, was a graffiti case, where there was a kid that was caught by the State Patrol that was spray painted on a barrier wall. And you can see the breakdown of each of these cases in this report on our website, where you see the summary of what happened in each of them. But this was a kid who didn't have a prior history, who cooperated with troopers, admitted to what he was doing, and then he was sent to the Safe Start Track program that provides mentoring to kids that are caught in low-level property crimes. Really, it was the amount of damage to repair it on that wall that made it a felony. If this was a kid who had a long history or who didn't cooperate with police, it would be a very different analysis.
We're speaking with Casey McNerthney from the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. Casey, separately, prosecutors filed 39 cases involving guns in July. You've described some of those numbers as actually reassuring. 39 gun cases in 1 month still sounds like a lot. So what makes this good news?
Well, there's a couple of ways to look at that are encouraging. On the juvenile track, 35 of those 39 cases involve adults. And so overwhelmingly, it's adults that are using guns. We're still concerned about those 4 cases that went through traditional prosecution for the juveniles. Seattle, which is the largest city in King County, had the bulk of those cases. 22 of the overall 39 cases were in Seattle. That's kind of understandable because of the mass population there. The other reassuring part is there are many cities that didn't see big spikes or big numbers of gun crimes last month, and where they typically don't see those. For example, Federal Way had 1 case, Tukwila had 1 case, Des Moines had 2, Auburn had 3, and so there's many cities in King County that have huge population numbers that don't see big numbers of gun crimes, and hopefully that's reassuring for folks who live there.
Casey McNerthney, King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. Casey, thanks for your time today.
It's good to see you, Charlie.
On the Key Peninsula, a vacant home up for sale was left flooded and trashed after a late-night break-in. Pierce County deputies say 2 15-year-old boys were caught leaving the property. Inside, they found water pouring from the ceiling, paint everywhere, and utilities ripped from the walls. Deputy Carly Capetto says it's devastating for the owners.
This home is going to be about $100,000 in damages, and it will unfortunately be the cost to the homeowner, which is very sad.
The teenagers were arrested. They face felony charges, including first-degree burglary and first-degree malicious mischief. You can see video of this at mynorthwest.com.
Seattle-based Redfin is getting a new boss. Rocket Companies, which bought Redfin last year, has named former Meta executive Alessia Sanfilippo as the company's new CEO. Most recently worked with Meta's Reality Labs division, known for virtual and augmented reality products. He takes over from longtime Redfin leader Glenn Kelman, who stepped down earlier this year.
Seattle Seahawks wide receiver Cooper Kupp is celebrating a business milestone off the field. Kupp joined family members and co-owners this weekend for the grand opening of Dodo Coffee Company's new flagship location in Fayetteville, Arkansas. The shop's original storefront was lost through eminent domain, but the family kept the business running with a mobile coffee trailer while building the new permanent location. Kupp and the Seahawks open the regular season against the Patriots September 9th at Lumen Field.
How in the world is this business not called Cooper's Cup?
I was thinking the same thing.
Dodo Coffee.
I don't know. There's got to be a story there.
It's 8:23. We check traffic on the 3s. Chris Sullivan is watching the roads.
And we are starting to see some improvement in places. Others, it's just going to take a little while longer. Like if you're coming down from the Linwood area, we've actually picked up the pace by about 10 minutes on Linwood to Seattle. That's down to about 50 with an hour and 10 total, but we're still struggling at an hour and 20 from Everett into Bellevue. So just kind of a tale of 2 sides of the drive on either side of Lake Washington. We are definitely seeing brake lights through Totem Lake now, which is kind of compacting things. Still losing about 10 minutes on southbound 405 south of I-90 down through the Coal Creek Parkway area, working your way down towards 30th where we had an earlier crash there. Give yourself about 25 minutes from Bellevue into Renton. You got 35 to 40 going the other direction, primary commuting route there with Renton S-curves being the heaviest, and some spillover onto the Valley Freeway, but manageable. It's under 50 from Puyallup to Renton. We're also under 50 from Federal Way to Seattle, though the brake lights are really heavy at the north end of Boeing Field past the West Seattle Bridge. Lake bridges are still fine. A little westbound slowing across Mercer Island, but you can manage it. Olympia to Tacoma is not bad. 18 over Tiger Mountain, a little heavy, but not bad. 16 back and forth between Port Orchard and Tacoma look good. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
We're looking for partly sunny skies this afternoon, a high of 74. Right now, it's 60 in Seattle.
And coming up, KIRO News Radio's James Lynch reports on the planned walkout today among thousands of public employees in our state. Also, you heard about the new oil deal between the U.S. and Venezuela. How will that affect gas prices? We'll chat with Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News.
We're here for Closets by Design. I was in the home office both Saturday and Sunday getting stuff ready for work. And I just had to remark to myself how nice it was to be in a spot that's cozy. And it is meant for being a home office when I need it to be a home office. But when we have company over, I just need to bring the wall bed down. See, that's what Closets by Design does. It's not just closets. It's wall beds. It's home offices. It's entertainment centers, mudrooms, everything, all custom built and designed for your home. Nothing off a shelf. They do everything at their facility in Kent. They come, they install it. It is beautiful when it is finally there with less clutter and less frustration. When everything finally has a place, you are going to love it. Right now, for a limited time, you can get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to get your project started today.
If your home is 20 years old or more, it might be time to have your roof checked. Your roof is your home's first line of defense, and at Guardian, we help it last as long as possible. That's why every new install comes protected with a full year of free maintenance on us. Visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Summer is the time to feel and look your best, but I'm not talking about your abs or tan. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your very own hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. They are the team that addressed my hair loss, and I recommend them to everyone. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. So get the details and schedule your free consultation today. 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. With Advanced Hair, your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and make the call now while their summer savings event is still on. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
30 years ago, Davis Law Group was founded to be the best law firm for our clients and our community. Our core values are to win, help, and serve. It means our success is defined by the difference we make in our clients' lives and the impact we can have in our community. Not by giant settlement checks or shiny offices. Our mission to lift up the vulnerable extends beyond the courtroom to our charity partners, promoting safety, uplifting students, accident victims, foster youth, and the elderly. If you've been injured and want better results for your claim and for all of Washington, call Davis Law Group today.
Our founders believed that freedom wasn't just a word, it was a way of life. The freedom to move forward, the freedom to pursue what matters most, the freedom to live fully. But aging has a way of taking those freedoms away. That's why there's Longevity Medical Clinic. John Curley here. My best move was becoming a patient of Longevity Medical Clinic years ago, and second best move, getting my wife Nicole to join me this year. Stop guessing and start working with a doctor who knows your goals and get personalized care designed around you, not the average patient. Discover what's holding you back and what can help you thrive with longevity. Aging is natural, but some of the effects are undesirable, and you don't want to have to just accept it. So this year, as we celebrate 250 years of freedom, ask yourself a simple question. Are you living with the freedom you deserve? Get real answers about your health and get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out more at lmclinic.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. In a clinical study, Eliquis apixaban reduces stroke risk and has less major bleeding than warfarin.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Ask your doctor about the #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner, Eliquis.
My name is Anne. I live in the Bay Area, and I'm 68 years old. I helped my mom navigate Medicare. That was a nightmare I hope never, ever to have to go through again. It was awful for her, it was awful for me, and I just knew I never wanted to go through that. I knew that there were choices and that there were balances to be made and that it could be totally impenetrable. Chapter basically does the work for you. When you're turning 65, when you're looking at going on Medicare, they will look at all the options for you, give you advice as to what's best. One plan might be better for this, one plan might be better for that. I didn't have to do that calculation. They do the research and you don't have to pay for it. We gave a person the information, a person got back to us. You don't have to make yourself crazy.
To learn more about how you can get free personalized Medicare advice, visit chapter.com today.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 8:30. Washington State public employees all over Western Washington are walking off the job today as they push for a new contract.
James Lynch is following the story and joins us now live with the latest. James?
Guys, the Washington Federation of State Employees says teachers and staff will use breaks, lunch periods, and vacation time to rally outside job sites. They're demanding higher pay, safer staffing, and an end to what they call austerity policies. More than 50,000 members say rising workloads, vacancies, and pay that doesn't keep up with the cost of living have all led to the planned walkouts. It's been dubbed Walkout with Washington, and it aims to pressure Governor Ferguson and higher education leaders to invest in public workers and protect critical services for families all over Washington.
James Lynch reporting live. It's 8:31.
Now, Seattle families are bracing for the possibility of a teacher's strike just 2 days before classes are set to begin. Seattle Public Schools and the Seattle Education Association have until 11:59 tomorrow night to reach a contract agreement. Parents are already making backup plans. Matt Becker spoke with KIRO 7.
I'm just going to plan on staying home this week, no matter what, for sort of separate reasons. And if it goes on beyond that, well, I don't really have a contingency plan at this time, I'm sorry to say.
The union says a strike would start Wednesday if no deal is reached.
To the Bethel School District, where students there are walking into a brand new high school today. Here's Principal Chrissy Rodriguez speaking to KIRO 7 TV.
So we have a state-of-the-art facility compared to what we've had in our last building. So I'm so excited for our students and the community that will be here in this space.
The new Bethel High School in Graham replaces the aging campus that opened in 1952. It's a new 2-story building. District leaders say the project was nearly 2 decades in the making.
5 people are dead after a wrong-way crash on Highway 2 in Douglas County. The State Patrol says a westbound Nissan Maxima crossed the center line near milepost 137. That's about 11 miles north of East Wenatchee. Slammed head-on into an eastbound Chevy Sonic last night. 4 people in the Nissan and the 77-year-old driver of the Chevy were all killed at the scene. Troopers say drugs or alcohol were involved, and the crash remains under investigation.
Seattle brunch favorite says it's not going anywhere despite mounting financial troubles. Portage Bay Cafe owners tell the Seattle Times all 5 restaurant locations will remain open even after eviction disputes, tax debts, and the closure of a Soto commissary kitchen. Co-owner Amy Fair-Gunner says the chain hit a rough patch after overexpanding following the pandemic.
It's 8:33. That's time for a check on traffic. Every 10 minutes on the 3s. Here's Sully.
And I could use a little help for my KIRO drivers. For those of you heading southbound on 405 south of Bellevue, heading down into Renton. This DOT is reporting another crash in the same location of the crash that we have been working right there at 30th. I don't see anything new, but if you do, I could use some help on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. We still have a pretty sizable backup to deal with through Coal Creek Parkway down. You're going to need about 25 minutes to go from Bellevue into Renton. That's about a 10-minute delay. Going the other direction, we have a pretty typical day for you guys. Renton S-curves are heavy, but by the time you're up to 44th, it's not too bad. 35 minutes on that drive. Looking at the Puyallup to Renton, under 45 minutes, so that's great. About 50 from Everett to, Federal Way to Seattle, the heaviest spot there, right at the north end of Boeing Field. But by most day standards, it's not bad. Lake bridges are fine. And coming down from the north end, we've got about an hour and 20-minute trip. Everett to Bellevue, about an hour and 10 from Everett to Seattle, with the brake lights there right where they should be. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube. Click subscribe and get fresh video content daily.
Forecast calls for partly sunny skies today. A high of 74 this afternoon, 72 mostly cloudy tomorrow. Wednesday looks to be kind of stormy. Rain and wind and highs only in the 60s. Right now, it's 51 in Seattle.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974. This is KIRO News Radio.
It's 8:35 now. A massive oil deal between the U.S. and Venezuela and renewed striking along the Strait of Hormuz.
So how will this impact the price of oil? Let's check in with Patrick DeHaan, the head of petroleum analysis with Gas Buddy. Patrick, is this the solution to all our gas price woes?
Well, like many things, again, this will take time. Back when we made the initial deal after Nicolas Maduro was arrested, there was already a deal in place months ago. That was for the sale of oil, but very much like we were saying, it takes years. Venezuela has oil, unlike our strategic reserve where oil has been pumped into that reserve. The reserves that we're referencing here in Venezuela are proven oil reserves beneath their soil, meaning it has to be pumped to the surface. And to pump it to the surface, you need wells, you need drills and exploration to happen, and all of that will take time and money. That is something that we haven't seen yet. So yes, it will have a tremendous impact, but likely not for several years.
There are some experts, though, who believe this is illegal. Why?
Well, it certainly does ring some alarm bells, and that is because 1999 and Venezuela's constitution implicitly state that Venezuela's natural resources are for the sole beneficiaries of Venezuelans. And so there certainly will be questions there. Of course, what brought Nicolas Maduro and the rest of the regime that's in power was also questionable elections that were held. So many ask if this is a legitimate regime in Venezuela making what potentially is a questionable deal with the United States. So there are legal risks here with companies that simply dive into investing those billions in Venezuela.
Patrick, over the weekend, I actually was kind of mind blown because I had always thought the United States petroleum reserves, they were in oil tanks across the country. But instead, these are like salt caves and mines. There's an actual reserve where this is pumped into. Can you just kind of describe what is going on here? I've found it fascinating.
Well, as you mentioned, the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve isn't stored above ground in tanks. It's stored below ground in many saltwater caverns that essentially have been hollowed out to use to store this oil. Now, those saltwater caverns, there's several different locations, some of them in Louisiana and Texas, but that's a safe place to put this oil that cannot easily be accessed, and that's what makes it strategic. But that is where oil is being drawn out of. You may have heard a little over a week ago, some people worrying that we'd run out of that oil in 44 days. But keep in mind, the U.S. releasing oil for another few weeks until that authorized release the president signed back in March is fully realized. And by then, the U.S. reserve will somewhere be in the ballpark of roughly 250 million barrels.
Okay, we mentioned renewed strikes between the U.S. and Iran. How is the war affecting things this week?
Well, obviously, over the weekend, new developments and new escalations have reignited the risk calculus. Oil prices going up 3% on the concerns that Iran, whose promised retribution, will do just that. The Strait of Hormuz likely to remain closed for a longer period of time. That is pushing oil prices back up again this morning. So again, unexpected, unpredictable. Well, maybe some people would say this is predictable. But ultimately, the details are what is unpredictable, keeping oil prices high. And unfortunately, in the run up to Labor Day, it's likely to be the most expensive Labor Day on record. And also in your neck of the woods, some issues over the weekend with the Olympic pipeline, again, putting Oregon and Washington at greater risk of seeing prices. Rumors are saying there have been some issues again with the Olympic pipeline that could cause a little bit of a spike in Western Washington and Oregon.
As a guy who took last week off with my fifth wheel trailer, towing it with a diesel truck, I could not help but notice that diesel prices are on the upswing, and that's bad for me recreationally. What does this mean for truckers and the goods we get from truckers?
Well, indirectly, it's the cost that every American is paying, maybe not directly at the diesel pump, but through what they buy at the grocery store. Through much of the U.S., the economy runs on diesel, from tractors to trains and trucks that haul all of these goods to market. Pricier diesel is something that's very concerning. And as you mentioned, diesel prices only about 25 cents a gallon away from an all-time record. What's happening between Ukraine and Russia, knocking off Russian oil refineries, is very impactful to especially the price of diesel.
All right, Patrick, thanks for your time. As always, we appreciate it. Patrick Tahan is head of petroleum analysis with Gas Buddy.
Okay, Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to continue to look at the southbound 405 slowing out of Factoria down to Renton. We'll break it down next.
Also on the way, G. Scott is going to stop by the show. He has a big interview coming up at 9 a.m. We're going to hear him and Ursula speak with former Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes, one of his first interviews after he was forced to resign.
For years, women were told the same thing about feeling off. The low energy, the mood swings, the weight gain. I recently had a chat with board-certified physician Dr. Lucy Hostetter. You're going to love her. She's with Juvicor Health and Wellness Center. She said the change happened to her, too, and every doctor she went to said, you just have to live with it, Lucy. Well, she found that unacceptable, so she started doing her own research, and it led her down the path of hormones. Today, Dr. Hostetter and her team at Juvicor Health and Wellness Center use bioidentical hormone therapy customized to your body to bring back the you that's been missing. She says nobody has to jump full bore into hormones. They can take a stepwise approach. She's looking at your individual labs, your individual goals, and you can take it as slow or as fast as you want. Give them a call. Juvicor Health and Wellness Center in Tacoma, or you can call Seattle Regenerative Medicine Center in Bellevue. That's their original location. Or just check out juvicorhealth.com. That's JUVECorehealth.com and feel like yourself again.
Jake and Spike.
Whoever in her office shoved her into this video and said, you know what you should do, Katie Wilson? Why don't you, bust a move?
Gear yourself to a certain portion of the electric.
If the goal is to repel everyone, then I would say that she's doing a fairly good job.
You're going for the uncoordinated vote. You nailed it.
My goodness.
Jake and Spike, noon to 3 on the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
At Carrier, we know that a comfortable home is a happy one. Whether it's with innovative breakthroughs in heating and cooling efficiency, or with different ways to control your home's temperature and air quality, we are always imagining new ways to make your home totally comfortable.
Turn to the experts and let your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer improve your home's comfort and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find an expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts. The new SR 167 Expressway opens soon and will be toll-free till winter. It's the shortcut between I-5 and SR 509 near Fife, so drivers can avoid congestion and freight trucks can deliver direct to the port. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
Certain industries expose workers to hazardous chemicals. If you worked in a paper or pulp mill, or in aircraft manufacturing or painting at Boeing, and have a child born with birth defects, your child may be entitled to legal damages as a result of your exposure to such chemicals. Birth defects have been linked to toxic chemicals, metals, and solvents used in these industries. If your child was born with brain or spinal cord damage, organ or limb malformations, blindness, cerebral palsy, genetic damage, or other birth defects, and you're a past or present worker in a paper or pulp mill, aircraft manufacturing, or painting, contact us now toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your children may be entitled to legal damages. If you're a past or present worker in a paper or pulp mill or aircraft manufacturing or painting at Boeing, and your child has a birth defect, call toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your call is confidential. 1-866-99-TOXIC. Message authorized by Weinstein Cajano, 600 University Street, Suite 1620, Seattle, Washington.
8:43 now. We have traffic on the threes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And I think I found the second little crash on southbound 405 that DOT is reporting right near the one we had at 30th, which has cleared. This one appears to be a couple of small cars caught up in it over on the right shoulder, not really blocking. Either way, we still have about a 25 to 28 minute drive to go from Bellevue down into Renton, southbound 405. So behind schedule by about 10 minutes. Going the other direction, the primary commuting route, we have a Renton to Bellevue drive of about 35 minutes. That's about average. Right behind that, the Valley Freeway is under 45, which is really good. Pierce County is cleared out nicely, and I-5 itself is not bad at all until you get up to about the north end of Boeing Field. So 45 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle before 9 a.m., that's a win. Coming down from the north end, we're trying to get better on southbound 405. It's just going to take a little time. We have extra stuff in Totem Lake, so still about an hour and 15 minutes from Everett into Bellevue and about an hour from Everett to Seattle. So much faster on the I-5 side of things. The lake bridges are great. This report brought to you by Bucky's Complete Auto Care. Is your car's AC blowing warm air? Well, don't sweat it. Save $50 on any AC service at Bucky's. 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed. Bucky's.com.
And our forecast, we'll see a mix of clouds and sun for today. Starting to see some sunshine in Seattle right now. It's 74. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy, 72. Wednesday looks a little stormy, rainy, windy, and 66. Right now in Seattle, we have some sun breaks. It's 59 degrees.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Well, it's 8:45, and joining us now from the G and Ursula show, 9 to noon every weekday on KIRO News Radio, it's G. Scott. Good morning, G.
Hey, Charlie. Good to have you back, man.
Great.
Did you miss us, man, or what?
I really did.
No,
I know I'm not supposed to say that, but I love my job, and I miss you guys. I was texting you throughout my vacation,
yes,
too.
I scolded you on the air.
I can't. Just so you know, I think it was Friday.
Yeah.
I let everybody know. So before you let everybody know, I said that you were right about something.
Oh, no.
And I told everybody that you remember I said, oh, you know what, you're right. You said, I'm going to screenshot that.
Yeah.
Not very often do I say, Charlie's right.
What was I right about?
I don't
even remember.
I don't even remember. I mean, it was something. It was something.
Some nonsense.
Yeah.
Well, by the way.
Charlie, you're absolutely right. Oh, okay. All right.
I found it. Let's shift gears because you have a big get this morning.
Yeah.
Talk to us about
this morning. Former chief of Seattle Police Department, Sean Barnes, will join the G and Ursula show. It's going to be right at the top of the show at 9 o'clock. So, looking forward to talking with him. As we all know that right after the bite of Seattle, that tragedy that happened on that day, there was a lot of questions and things being asked and talked about, and then finally he was asked to resign. So we're going to ask him about that. We're going to ask him about travel. We're going to ask him about where he lived. We're going to ask him all of the things that kind of have been talked about, right? A lot of what has been talked about has been about Sean Barnes. Today we talk to Sean Barnes.
I'm really looking forward to that. I don't think he's spoken to anybody else since he resigned, has he?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. And I think out of all the things that I want to ask him about, sure, there's the questions about travel and all those things. The biggest thing that I want to ask is, do you think you were treated fairly? Like that right there is what I would be curious of. Were you treated fairly? And what type of advice? I mean, as he's leaving, you know how sometimes there's exit interviews that happens in the job world. If this were an exit interview, what type of advice would he give the city of Seattle that for some reason keeps going through police chiefs very often? Like every couple years.
Yeah, every other year we have a new person at the top of the chain of command there. I'm curious, if we were to kind of zoom out here, G, is this guy a scapegoat?
I think so. But, I mean, I know that is subjective. Look, I'll say this at best. The mayor of Seattle is an appointed position as chief of police. She has every right, to figure out like, hey, I want this police chief. I want this person as police chief. Has every right to do that. The timing in which he is asked to resign is sketchy at best. If anything, the decision to ask the chief to resign says, well, you know that there's an investigation that's still going on. And by the way, since we're talking about investigation, I've done a little deal here. If you ask the average person or even people that do this for a living in media, hey, what's going on with the investigation with the bite of Seattle? Exactly.
Hell if I know.
Exactly. Crickets. So not only do we, by the way, we work in media.
Yes.
This is what we do every day, and none of us know. And then you made that decision to ask the chief to resign during that time. And so now what? What was the point? What is the goal? So, again, some of these questions going to get asked today.
I'm really looking forward to hearing it.
So that's 9 to noon. I'm wondering if you can help me, because you and I chatted a little bit about this yesterday, G. And maybe we could have a bit of a discussion. How am I supposed to deal with this situation with the daughter's boyfriend?
Whoa.
How am I supposed to deal with this, G?
Whoa.
So,
G, you're excused.
Wait.
Let's not go there. You're excused.
Wait.
This is
David
terrific.
Burbank, this is coming to the airwaves?
Yes.
You know, Charlie, you're absolutely right.
So,
I was not aware of this.
I just have to ask, because
funny.
we're out at a gathering. We're a friend of my wife's got married, so we're at the wedding reception. And my daughter and my daughter's boyfriend comes with us, along with my son. And my daughter's boyfriend, well, he's, I don't know, 6 feet tall or so.
He looks exactly like you.
Yes, is what I'm trying to say.
Does he really, Manda?
Yeah.
People constantly ask, "Oh, is that your son?" I'm no, that's my daughter. That's her boyfriend. How should I react to that in a situation? Should I just let it go?
I mean, you could just, hey, no, that's actually my daughter's boyfriend.
It's cute.
It's cute. It's kind of cool, right?
It is kind of cool.
Well, the thing is they've been together for a little while now.
Over a year now.
Over a year.
Yeah.
Wow. That's got to be something. And he's going to family weddings and friends' weddings with you.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
now
serious
I'm
stuff.
starting to think this through.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, boy.
I mean,
oh no.
At some point, look, it's going to be easy. I would say that they're just making it easy for you. This is like kind of the pathway or gateway to get ready to call him son. At some
wait.
point. No, what are we talking about? I don't know what. I mean,
They're only 18, right?
Yes, 18 and 19. They got plenty of time.
I mean, 18 and 19.
Oh, wait, you were
18, 19. So, anyways, Charlie, it must be done. Now, has he cooked for you guys yet? Has he made dinner for everyone? And if the fact that you're looking up in the air and didn't give me a quick no, he's cooked something.
Well, I was wondering if this counts because, we were off last week and we went fishing.
Did he go on vacation with you?
No, he didn't go on vacation. Just my wife, my son, and I, my actual son.
Wait. So wait, you, your wife, and son went on vacation?
Yes, out to Lake Chelan. And we caught some trout.
David.
We caught some trout, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about cleaning a trout. So he is actually kind of the expert in this. So we got it mostly filleted and everything like that.
Yeah.
But he's going to help us learn. He loves fishing. He's going to help us learn how to pull the bones out of the trout.
Oh, that's kind of cooking.
And he's kind of an outdoorsy kind of guy.
Oh, outdoorsy. Now, are you an outdoorsy guy?
I like camping, but I am fine using a tent. My wife would not ever do it again. She swore it off.
Okay, here's a
after
question.
doing that a couple
Does
times.
Sam like outdoor stuff?
Yeah, I think so. Sam loves fishing.
Sounds like the son, right, is becoming a hero in the house because he can do things like, hey, Sam, come on with your bro over here. Let me show you how to do this. Let me show you how to do the fish. Let me show you all of those things, man. You know what I mean? Come on now. You know, Charlie, you're absolutely right. It takes a village, they say, and this person is a part of the Charlie village.
G. Scott, big interview coming up with Chief Barnes. Thank you for that, G. We will be listening 9 o'clock. He's at the top of the hour, right?
Yep, top of the hour, right away.
Okay.
See you guys.
You, my friend, may be excused.
Oh, there we go.
Time to check traffic. We do that every 10 minutes. It's 8:53. Here's Chris Sullivan.
By the way, while I appreciate you asking G this, his co-host has a podcast called Ask Ursula. Perhaps you should be directing this to her, and she can feature that in her podcast.
I'll send it as an anonymous
thing.
No one will ever know.
Sound really silly. You're like, what should I do? So, come on. We have a podcast, Ask Ursula. So get on that.
Hey, how's traffic?
Yeah, David's giving us
Listen, I know what time I need to be out with our new clock. We're looking at the drive now, getting better. We picked up about 10 minutes as well, coming down the 405 corridor out of Linwood. So we're down to about 50 minutes from Linwood to Bellevue, down to 45 from Linwood to Seattle. So we're getting there. It's just going to take a little bit longer. Northbound I-5, 45 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. That's a win. Renton to Bellevue, about 30. So not terrible there. Behind that, the Valley Freeway's under 45. Lake bridges are okay. A little westbound slowing across I-90 over to the Mount Baker Tunnel, but just a little yellow on the map, not red. And it looks like we're clearing out on southbound 405 after those two little crashes we had near 30th getting into Renton. Still have about 22 minutes to go from Bellevue down into Renton. This report brought to you by the Mariners. Don't miss out on fireworks nights presented by T-Mobile. Next up, sing-along shows September 4th. Get your tickets, mariners.com/fireworks.
Seeing some sunshine. It's a lovely Monday morning. A mix of clouds and sun for the day. 74 the high today. Overnight lows in the mid-50s. Tomorrow will stay mostly cloudy, cooling down to 72. And then Wednesday looks fun. Rainy, windy. Only 66 on Wednesday. 65 on Thursday with some lingering showers. Right now in Seattle, we have partly sunny skies. It's 59 degrees.
Coming up, it's the G and Ursula Show, where they speak with former Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes. That is coming up just after the top of the hour news.
You know, Charlie, you're absolutely right.
Yes, Charlie, you are. Welcome back.
This is Seattle's Morning News.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Don't wait. Insulate. Last year, American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $2 million in insulation rebates from PSE, more than any provider in the state. If your home was built before 1990, you're eligible for recouping up to 95% of insulation replacement costs. Insulate with American Crawl Space and keep your home warm during the winter and cool during the summer.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Stop wasting your nights on a mattress that doesn't get you. Experience the most comfortable mattress in the world. The Sleep Number Smart Bed. At the touch of a button, you can personalize your comfort. Choose firmer or softer. Adjust cooler to warmer. And right now, save up to $2,500 during our massive Labor Day event. Hurry into your local Sleep Number store today, because we have your number.
Progressive presents a guided meditation.
Hear the birds sing. A chipmunk nibbling on an acorn.
Smell the pine needles gently falling into your living room as the breeze blows through the gaping hole in your roof. Gaze up at that broken tree branch and relax, because you bundled your home and auto with Progressive and have the peace of mind of 24/7 protection. So relaxing.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Anthony Hamilton with Tony, live in the Tulalip Amphitheater, Thursday, September 10th. Tickets are on sale now. Details at TulalipCasino.com.
Want to see the defending Super Bowl champion Seahawks open the 2026 season against the Patriots September 9th?
KIRO